84 degrees and a beautiful afternoon for baseball here on the Prep. Welcome to Dan Petrie Field. My name is Chad Bush. Alongside Brian Sikowski on color commentary this afternoon. Very proud to have the former Eaglets in Chippewa and the Perfect Game national cross-checker in the house. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Absolutely. Always nice to be on the shores of Orchard Lake.
And we've got a good one for you. We've got the number 1 and 2 teams in the CHSL Central Division here on Long Ball Live. Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's going at it 3.0 and 4.0. So, St. Mary's 25-0, number 1 in the country, according to Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. They come in 25-0 on a 47-game win streak, 5th best in MHSAA history. That's what they're riding right now, and continuing to climb. It's Brock Porter Day. Porter Vision is up and on, and all eyes on Brock Porter as he's about to make his 6th start of the year, and he will be opposed by Brother Rice, who comes in 17-6 overall, led by Bob Riker and Kyle Galley. And they're going to come in with Robert Clan, a senior of their own. And, Brian, this is a matchup that we saw back at Warrior Complex a few weeks ago. And these two guys went head-to-head. Porter was solid as he's been all season long. And this is going to be a nice featured couple of two teams, the best in the state of Michigan, going at it.
Yeah, and not to mention it's a very classic rivalry, too. Like, take out what happened last year with St. Mary's, as good as they were, but even as recently as 5 years ago, Brother Rice owned this rivalry, in baseball anyways, and it's two of the premier teams in the state. It's two of the premier teams in the Catholic League, which I consider the best league in the state, and we're gonna tee it up. Riker and Petrie, old rivals, like this is what we're here for, man.
That's right. Petrie, by the way, the head coach, Matt Petrie, is in his 12th year. He is a former Brother Rice Warrior. That's where he went to high school. He's an alum of Rice. As Brian mentioned, to heat this rivalry up even more, St. Mary's has won basically 2.5 years' worth of games against Rice. And Brother Rice would like nothing more, Brian, to come in here upset and put a fly in the ointment of St. Mary's perfect season in their 47-game win streak.
There would be nothing that would make Brother Rice happier than as the rival, as the team who's been on the wrong end of this rivalry for the last couple of years. And sometimes in pretty, stark fashion, uncharacteristically bad fashion in some cases, but there'd be nothing they'd like better.
All right, we're going to have the starting lineups in the start of this game coming up right after this from Dan Petrie Field. This is the Prep.
Pure Barre is a full-body workout that transforms you, physically and mentally. Our musically driven group classes focus on low-impact, small movements that strengthen and tone your entire body in 50 minutes or less. Anyone is capable of taking Pure Barre, no matter your age or fitness level, and no dance experience is required.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. Chad Bush and Brian Sikowski with you for Orchard Lake St. Mary's and Birmingham Brother Rice. Brother Rice comes in 17-6 on the year, in second place in the CHSL Central Division behind St. Mary's, 25-0, undefeated, of course, in this Catholic League Central Division. Brian, look, Brock Porter gets the start. We'll talk a lot about Brock Porter. He deserves to be talked about. I want your thoughts on the right-hander that's being talked about, being a first-round pick, and from a national scout perspective, what should we know about Brock Porter? How good is he?
He is maybe the best high school baseball prospect out of the state of Michigan since Drew Henson or Jeter.
Okay.
Like, as far back as that, it's
sure.
I don't think he's a probable first rounder anymore. I think he's a probable top 15 pick at this point. I think he's done everything that scouts have wanted him to do as far as improvement. He's stayed healthy. He's been consistent. A lot of things working in his favor right now.
Yeah, Brian very familiar with Brock Porter, who's taken the mound and taken his warm-up tosses. Brian, of course, a former assistant for 6 years with Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and he's a part of 3 state titles with the Eaglets during his tenure. 2 state titles. I tried to give you a third. You're too honest of a guy.
We would have had one in 20. That's up. We can say 3.
It should be, right? St. Mary's is going for a 3-peat. Brock Porter, as we look at his profile, the senior right-hander, of course, committed to Clemson. This year, 28 innings pitched, 4-0, 62 strikeouts against just 10 walks. Opponents are hitting .25 against him, .25 ERA. The whip is below .43. Again, as Brian said, a top 15 pick. If you're talking to the scouts right now, one of the best fastballs in the country. It's reached 100 miles an hour, and a no-hitter against Brother Rice, his last time against them, but also his last time out against UAD. Orchard Lake St. Mary's won 17-1, and Brock Porter was a part of a 6-inning combo no-hitter in which he was solid in that, Brian, going 6 innings, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks, no hits, no runs. Your thoughts? Let's get to the starting lineup real quick before we get into your thoughts. Alfredo Velasquez leads off. He's in center field. Batting second, Alex Cheeseman, the third baseman. Batting third at first base is Tyler Fox. Batting fourth is Owen Turner, the catcher. Batting fifth, Braden Dowd in center field. Tristan Crane is batting sixth and is the shortstop. Ryan Turansky is the DH, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Wyatt Rupenthal, the right fielder. And batting ninth is Max Orozco at second base. And Brock Porter's first pitch is a ball outside. We're underway.
We're looking at one of the better hitters that Porter will probably face this year, too. And Velasquez, he's just a junior, still technically an underclassman, but a Michigan commit as a two-way guy, left-hand hitting center fielder and left-handed pitcher.
And he draws a walk. 3 straight balls from Porter to Velasquez, just the 11th walk of the year for Brock Porter in his 28 innings pitched.
And that's what Rice wants to do. They're a pressure-driven offense. They want to get guys early on base. Velasquez is a really good runner. They like to move guys. They like to move runners. They like to hit behind guys. That's very much a Riker-style game.
This is Alex Cheeseman, the third baseman. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, and it's 4 straight balls from Brock Porter, a guy that fastball, changeup, slider, curve. I'll let you talk more to his arsenal, Brian.
Yeah, it's all 4. The changeup has always been his most dominant pitch. We all know he can throw really hard. The biggest thing that scouts wanted to see coming into the season was improvement on the ability to spin the ball. The slider has taken a big step forward. The curveball, a smaller step, but a step nonetheless. To the point now you're seeing him throw 86-mile-an-hour sliders with plus tilt, and that's something he never had prior to this spring, and that's why we're seeing him fire up those draft boards.
3+ pro pitches, is it fair to say, and maybe a fourth that's not far behind. The 1-1 count to Cheeseman, 1 on, nobody out, squares to bunt, pulled it back, and it's strike 2, he's out. So a man on, man out. Porter battles back to throw consecutive strikes after 4 straight balls. 1 out.
And the risk you run into trying to move a guy over against a pitcher like Brock is you need all the outs you can get against a pitcher like Porter. You can't give any away.
Right.
So it's a different approach, considering you have to expect St. Mary's is probably going to score some runs today. But there is something psychological about potentially scoring first, especially on a guy like Porter.
St. Mary's was scored on first in back-to-back games. Their last 2 games against Liggett, they had to come from behind, trailing 2-0 in both cases. There's a swing and a pop-up, shallow right field. Schubert is going to circle it. It's regular depth right field. That ball is carrying today, and it's caught, and there's 2 outs here at Dan Petrie Field.
Chad, when I pulled into the parking lot earlier, just showing up, the first thing I saw was every single one of the flags blowing straight out. And I thought,
84 degrees, wind blowing out. A team in Orchard Lake St. Mary's that on the year has hit now 39 home runs through 25 games. This is Tyler Fox. Throw back to first and back in time. My bad. This is Owen Turner, the catcher, a sophomore, and the cleanup hitter. 2 men are out, 1 man on via the walk. And it's a strike right down Indian Trail, and Porter is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, an inning which started with 6 straight balls.
And you could see Brock is sometimes it just takes you a couple pitches to get locked in, and especially in the Catholic League when 3 is a walk, as we know, that sometimes results in a walk or 2, but breaking ball there for a swing and miss over the top of it, he's locked in.
Locked in, 2 strikeouts, 3 are out. St. Mary's will come to bat in the bottom of the first. No score from Dan Petrie Field. Robert Clan taking his warm-up tosses for Brother Rice in the pinstripes in gray on the road. Brother Rice looking for their 18th win. And Robert Clan is a rare senior. Not many seniors on this team. In fact, 0 in the starting 9 for Brother Rice. This starter, though, Robert Clan, has a hot fastball, and he's an uncommitted senior. This is a guy, Brian, that is starting to catch some traction at 6'3", 215. He's becoming their ace, and he's becoming a guy that's going to have some options, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen this guy pitch for years in a Brother Rice uniform against St. Mary's, and we're seeing the velocity increase. We're seeing his body get stronger, and as a result, the stuff is picked up. And I'm with you. I think he'll have plenty of options.
He will face Jake Dresselhaus in that leadoff spot, and he pounds one into the grass foul. Let's look at the starting lineup for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. It'll be Dresselhaus leading off in center. It'll be Grimmer at third base in the 2-hole. Schubert is in right field. Irish, the cleanup hitter, catching. McKay is at second base and batting 5th. Oliver batting 6th at first base today. Next offering, cut on and missed. Got him on strike, so Clan with a quick start. And there is one away.
Just a high fastball from the looks of it. Dress has some chase to his game. He will expand the zone sometimes. He's an aggressive hitter. He'd rather get on by shooting a ball in the gap than walking, and that's something that he's done a good job developing, but he still has a little bit of a propensity to chase, and you saw that there.
A lot of pop in that bat. A lot of pop in this bat, too. This is Blake Grimmer. Grimmer is the leading active regular hitter, batting .436, 6 home runs, and 27 runs driven in for the Spring Lake, Michigan native.
And it's been great to see Grimmer fully healthy. Like, that's been the story for him. He was a guy we knew at 14U was a guy. He really swung it. You could see the body projection and the power and the athleticism and all that. And we saw it at 14. He was a 14U
really?
All-American kid for perfect game. And then it kind of had some injuries, had some nagging stuff, didn't play for a summer. COVID was in the middle of that. And now he shows back up this spring fully healthy. He looks fantastic. And I can't imagine a more fun place to be committed to than Tennessee right now either.
No doubt. There's a shot down the line, a bouncer. It's going to be handled by the first baseman, Fox, and there's quickly 2 outs in the St. Mary's first. No score, bottom of the first. Beautiful day for baseball. Glad you're with us on the prep.
We're seeing the way if you want to beat St. Mary's, if you're going in as a pitcher and your perspective is you want to beat St. Mary's, they don't swing at balls, period. Doesn't matter how good your stuff is. Doesn't matter how many swings and misses you're used to getting out of the zone, whatever. St. Mary's, the approach is too good. It's too professional. You have to throw strikes because they'll simply walk. As we've seen, how many 11 or 12 walk games this year where guys aren't expanding, they're not having selfish at-bats. Like, that's part of it's paramount to the approach instilled here offensively, that you don't swing at balls. Take our walks. That's good. The more you can be on base, the better. I hate to be all Moneyball on anybody, but
no, you're right on point, too, because this guy – Nolan Schubert has the best walk rate on the team, 26 walks on the year to lead the club. And, yeah, the team has walked now 165 times this year, but that's a strikeout for Clan. Clan with a K to end the first. And we'll get another look at this Clan strikeout. He looks solid in his first inning, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely attacking. You see a breaking ball there, and that may have been a changeup actually, but either way, caught that outside edge. Schubart might have been looking for fastball there, but good attack. Good attack by Clan.
To the second we go. Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. Let's take a look at the defense behind Brock Porter for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Ike Irish, the senior backstop behind home plate. Grimmer at third, Oliver at short, McKay at second, Parker Brustevich at first, Schubert in right, Dresselhaus in center, and Ryan Mooney in left field. Here is Braden Dowd. Braden Dowd, a good hitter for this club in center field, the junior, and a left-handed stick, struts to the plate to start things off against Porter. No score, top of the second.
Dowd's a good player. He's an uncommitted junior. I think he's going to be a D1 guy. He'll have his choice of where to go. As we can see, left-handed bat. He's a good athlete. Can play the outfield, and you'll remember last year in the Catholic League Championship game, he led off the game with a bomb.
That's right.
Off of Tommy Allman.
That's right. The 0-1 pitch is a slider outside. How's Tommy Allman doing down in Jacksonville?
He's good. He's pitched a couple times down there. Yeah, has gotten the usual kind of freshman workload of just a few innings. So we'll expect more from him next year.
That one's fouled back. St. Mary's also sent Jake Keyser last year to the University of Michigan. He's getting some minutes this year, right? I know you're tracking him a bit.
Yeah, he's pitched I don't know, probably a dozen innings or so in a year where Michigan has had some trouble on the mound.
Yeah,
they've needed to call on some freshmen to come in and give them innings. And
there's a shot down the line. This is trouble. This is going to be extra bases. Rounding first, headed to second, and Braden Dow has a leadoff double here in the second inning for Rice, clicking up their heels to start things.
And that's just a good piece of hitting by Dowd there. You could see, I think he swung and missed through a breaking ball early in the count, and this time he wasn't going to be fooled by it. He's kind of bought time with his hands. It was a hanger. He got it on top of the zone, and that's what you're supposed to do with that, is hit it hard.
Hang and bang. Brock lucky he didn't put that thing into the seats.
I'm sure Brock would rather have put that in a different spot than what he did, but credit to Dowd for that's what you have to do. When you get a hanger, you have to bang it.
That is just the third hit given up all year by Brock Porter. Squares to bunt, gets it down. It's a good one. It does the job to first. McKay over to field the throw, and there's one out, but the runner advances to third. Well done against Porter.
Absolutely, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you have to try and bunt a fastball if you're going to bunt. It's tough to bunt a slider. It's tough to bunt a curveball. And Brock's a guy who can throw any of the four pitches for strikes. If you go up there, you get a fastball, especially at the top of the zone like that. That's the ideal pitch to bunt, and he did a good job with it.
So that'll bring up Ryan Taransky. His brother Mitchell played for the Warriors and also at the University of Michigan, I believe.
Michigan State,
Michigan
maybe?
State.
One
Oh,
of them
yeah,
somewhere.
One of
He went to one of them. Yeah.
Well, Michigan State.
It's
I'm in
the
the
same
right state.
thing, right?
No big
As
deal.
a CMU grad, it's the same thing.
Says the CMU guys. Here's the pitch. It's low in the dirt. So 2-0 to Ryan Taransky, the number 7 hitter and the DH today for head coach Bob Riker.
This is a big spot here. Need to make contact, can't strike out, but you're ahead in the count.
Got him with a fastball in the inside corner. That's just strike one. I got a little excited.
That's
I'm
okay.
Sorry.
You're just you're manifesting. That's all right.
Mike Schramm is the home plate umpire. Bob Conway is the field umpire. A couple of long-time CHSL umpires hanging in and staying alive is the sophomore Rupenthal.
Here's where
Taransky, rather.
Here's where you're going to see what Brock has the most confidence in. Because if he thinks he can throw an off-speed pitch for a strike here or close enough to get a swing and miss, then he will.
It is upstairs, and he walks Taransky. So it has been an outing for Brock that's been a little bit erratic.
Right
23 pitches.
Number 27, Wyatt
And
Rupenthal.
he has a couple of walks. So here's Wyatt Rupenthal with runners at the corners, 1 out, no score. And again, Porter has only given up just 3 hits on the year and 1 earned run.
Maybe he's just rattled by how warm it is.
That might be it. Fouled away. That was high cheddar. And this is the number 8 hitter, Wyatt Rupenthal, a sophomore. Again, no seniors, 0 in the batting lineup for Bob Riker and Kyle Galley, his assistant.
This is what we talked about with like a Liggett team that's very similar. They have an ace senior on the mound in Kurt Barr, but their lineup is 23s and 24s and 25s now with Blake Illich.
Right.
And so I think you're going to see the best version of Rice and the best version of Liggett next year.
That's right. There is a runner at first, Taransky edging off. Dowd at third. The 1-1 count with 1 out. Got him on strikes. And that was a nasty off-speed pitch. Was that the slider or the changeup?
I think that was the slider. He'll throw right on right,
#1,
change
Max
up, and be
Orozco.
confident in it. But this will be a good one to get a look at here. Oh no, that is the changeup. Yeah, you can see that. That's vintage Brock Porter.
You've called it a bullet with butterfly wings.
Yeah, it's a nod both to the action of the pitch as well as 90s grunge music. So
Smashing Pumpkins.
not to date myself. Yeah,
my man. Oh, boy. Saw Smashing Pumpkins, State Theater, 1992. How about that?
I was 3.
That hurts. That is a strikeout and a little snappy from Porter as he gets out of trouble. Runners at the corners, less than 2 outs, he gets out of it. Brian, how about it?
There's no one in the state who's more capable of doing it by himself to pitch out of a jam than Brock is. There's no one in the state more capable of getting 3 strikeouts in a row if that's what you need, and that's what he is. That's what Brock Porter is.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. He is Brian Sikowski. My name is Chad Bush. Brock Porter gets out of the second, but now without a little sweat. Brian, 15 of his 24 pitches have been for strikes. Not the accuracy rate we've been used to, but he is human indeed. As we get a look at the defense for Brother Rice, Turner the catcher, Cheeseman at third, Crane at short, Orozco at second, Fox at first. Velasquez in left, Dowd in center, and Rupenthal in right. Here is Ike Irish, the top home run hitter in this lineup, tied with his teammate and roommate Nolan Schubert for 8 Jimmy Jacks on the year.
We're seeing Clan attack with velo, and this is something that I don't think is necessarily sustainable a couple times through this offensive lineup. But the first time through, as guys are getting timed up, it's you can get some weak contact, you can get some empty swings if you can move around 90 miles an hour. That's still a very good pitch in high school baseball.
Sure is.
We've gotten spoiled watching St. Mary's, but 90 is still very hard in high school.
Yeah, you think about it. I mean, 90 miles an hour. The kid's throwing 90 miles an hour now. I mean, it's a low rate, but back in less than 2000, there wasn't anybody throwing over 90 miles an hour, touching 90. Now it just seems to have increased. Why is that?
Well, you're seeing better player dev. Like you're seeing the places that these kids go in the off season. They're instructors in that. They're better strength training, better body training, like a 2SP, for example.
Sure.
And
shout out to our sponsor.
And in conjunction with that, guys are better suited to train arm speed. They're better suited to train proper pitching mechanics, and we're kind of seeing that explosion of stuff at a high rate.
That makes sense. The training, the all-season one sport a lot of kids doing, and really focusing. And hey, look, it's produced teams that are competing nationally now, like St. Mary's. Porter's been between 95 and 97 today with a fastball.
It's about right. That's what he's kind of been this year. Kind of cruises there to start and may settle into more 92, 94 as we go on.
This one is fisted foul to third base, and so a quick week out for Ike Irish. And the start, as you mentioned, I mean, it has been an outing that Robert Clan can get behind and put some film out for.
Yeah, he's pitching like a senior. He's pitching like a leader. That was attacking Ike Irish on the inner third with a fastball. That not many people have the ability or the willingness to do that. They know that a lot of those end up beyond the power station and right. But for Clan to come in there with velo, with command, like that's how you get St. Mary's out.
This one is pop foul, and in foul territory, it's missed. Overran. So that we'll put an asterisk next to that one. That's the third baseman, Alex Cheeseman, that overran it. So that's an out that perhaps we'll see what happens.
Cheeseman's a burner, too. You just got to control that acceleration, because I've seen him go 6'5" in the 60s.
Is that right?
Kid can really, really run. So.
Wow.
And he's a shortstop by trade, too, so he's probably just getting used to third base a little bit there still. How long the distance is that you have to get before the fence and so on.
And it's a long ways to run for third baseman here at Dan Petrie Field. It's kind of like the Coliseum in Oakland almost.
Nothing quite like Jimmy John's, though. That place has huge foul territory.
Oh, yes. Yes, it does. In fact, these two teams played in Jimmy John's last year for the Catholic League Championship. St. Mary's winning, having to come from behind. And this guy right here, Ryan Minnie McKay, with a triple that gave St. Mary's the win.
I heard about it.
Good layoff here, and it's a walk drawn by Ryan Minnie McKay. Look back at the umpire for something. So there's a man on, a man out, in a scoreless game, bottom of the second.
Number 14,
St. Mary's and Brother Rice. The rivalry continues on the baseball diamond.
I think we might be having some confusion as to how many balls there were, because I think we had that as the second ball.
McKay looked back at the home plate umpire, Mike Schramm, and was like, "Are you sure?" And then he just kept going, and now Schramm and Bob Conway, the field umpire, are going to get together and send Minnie back. Yeah, you're right. It was just 2 balls.
I appreciate a guy trying to work a walk. Like, as we talked about already, I'm a big fan of walks.
Now, Matt Petrie wants an explanation, and I mean, Mike Schramm's going to say, "Hey, look, I had the count wrong." Sometimes honesty's the best. Hey, I missed it. And that's why there's 2 umpires.
Yep.
And sometimes 3.
Yep. It's umpires are and I know I'm speaking from a place like as a man who like has yelled at umpires before, like but they're so vilified when they shouldn't be. They're just out here trying to make sure the game happens. You know, They really are. I wish fans would lay off. I wish coaches would lay off in some ways.
Yep. It's hard to get officials.
Yep. And that's why. That's why. Like
sure.
You see, like, stuff that you can't even believe. Like people following umpires back to their hotels at tournaments and breaking their car windows. Like,
man, oh man.
I promise you that 12U trophy is not that important.
Right. Bob Riker now wants an explanation and discussion with the home plate umpire, Mike Schramm.
We have it full count, I believe, which I'm pretty sure is right.
Well, we just checked with Pat the Stat, and Pat the Stat has it. It's a full count, 3-2. Now, is it 3-2? If it's 3-2, it's a walk. All right. Well, we can always replay it on the prep. If we need to go back and rewind it, can Alex, you could be the decision maker here.
And just like that, replay has made its way to high school baseball.
Oh, boy. We don't want to suggest that, do we? Oh, it's worth discussion, I suppose, in times like this. So, Ryan Minnie McKay, this guy having a big year, batting .429. He has 5 doubles. Grounds one to short, deep in the hole, throw to first, and they got him. That's a nice play by Tristan Crane. Going in the hole to make a play, and there's quickly 2 outs for St. Mary's, who has yet to collect a hit in this game.
McKay obviously played on the varsity all year last year, was one of the more consistent bat-to-ball guys. We saw him have big hits. We saw him hit for power. But right here, you can see the improvement in the speed, in the athleticism.
Big time.
That's a big upgrade in twitch. He looks better defensively. I think there might be a chance of him playing shortstop in college now.
Is that right?
I would not have said that a year ago.
Wow. This is Jason Oliver. Now, you told him before the game that he better not make you say anything bad about him.
Yeah, I just, he came over to say hi, and I said, hey, man, just don't do anything stupid that I have to talk about on the broadcast. So
You have the right. You've coached him for a couple years. Nobody on, 2 outs, 1 strike to Jason Oliver. This is the top RBI getter for the number 1 ranked Eaglets right here, the number 6 hitter. Got him on a slider. Clan with a K. My goodness.
After 2 innings of play,
I think that might have been
maybe something else.
One of those you don't expect, as a hitter, you never expect a breaking ball to start high and grab the top of the zone. You're taught to look for it up and then down. Yeah. You're taught to look for it mid and then down. So that's something of a dead zone slider where you give up on it, and all of a sudden that's right there at the top of the strike zone, and then you got to pull the trigger.
Clan sharp. We're tied. Let's go to the 3rd.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Impact players for Brother Rice, several of them. But you look at Alex Cheeseman, the junior, had a big day. The doubleheader against De La Salle, a sweep for Rice. Doubling a couple of walks. Alfredo Velasquez headed to Michigan, their best player, a two-way guy. Braden Dowd, who you saw get on, is responsible for the lone hit. And Tristan Crane with that nice play in the hole, the sophomore shortstop, to get an out last inning. So this is number 7, Alfredo Velasquez, the leadoff man, center fielder, the junior, committed to Michigan. And this kid's got a lot of tools, Brian.
He's small in stature, as we can see, and that's kind of worked against him in terms of perception throughout the course of his career. But really handles the bat well. He goes line to line. He has power. Not a ton over the fence power yet, but he can work the gaps. He's a plus runner, and I think he's a really, really good left-handed pitcher too, man. I think he's going to do both at Michigan.
Had a no-hitter versus Liggett earlier this year. I believe that was the opener.
It's funky. You saw him pitch well against St. Mary's in the final last year for the first 3 or 4 innings or whatever it was. It's unique. It's a
number 14,
lower slot, smaller lefty who kind of throws uphill, and he throws a bunch of pitches for strikes, and it's unique enough, and the stuff is good enough to where he can really dominate.
Yeah. He's Brian Sikowski. Brian's the national cross-checker for perfect game. Strike called here. And Brian's also the former assistant coach at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, two-time state champion as an assistant, and he's a fellow Catholic leaguer himself. He went to Riverview Gabriel Richard. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. Porter with a strikeout, his third of the game. And St. Mary's has recorded a couple outs here in the third. A very quiet Dan Petrie Field right now. Need to get some juice in the air. My goodness, it's 85 degrees.
Always like to see how Porter attacks teams the second time through the order. This could get him out of the inning here.
Oliver handles the grounder to short, throw to first, and out is Tyler Fox. 1-2-3 for Porter. We take a timeout and come right back from Dan Petrie Field right after these. Scoreless game.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Core bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Welcome back to Long Ball Live. Let's take a look at the impact players for St. Mary's. Jake Dresselhaus, committed to Michigan State. Big-time season a year ago with 12 home runs, having another great one this year. Brock Porter, you might have heard of him. How about, you've heard of him as a pitcher, but how about the home runs? 2 home runs last week for Porter, the Clemson commit. .450 average, 3 home runs. As Parker Brustevich leads off, Nolan Schubert, the right fielder, committed to Michigan. He's tied for the team lead with 8 home runs. And Jason Oliver, the junior shortstop, also committed to the Wolverines. A big part with 29 RBIs to lead this club. Here's Parker Brustevich, the sophomore.
And Porter's second home run last week might have been the furthest ball I've ever seen hit in high school. And I was just watching y'all on the broadcast.
Oh, he got into it. I mean, he's got, you talk about athleticism, you talk about torque, all those things, tools.
He's a freak separator.
Okay.
Like the body. And we got the 2 SB guys behind me. They'll shine a light better than I will. But his ability to separate, that's how he generates as much velocity as he can, along with how strong he is and how athletic he is. But that separation then comes into play when he's hitting, too. And that's how he's able to generate all that power. He might have the most power on the team, including Schubert, including Irish, including these guys. Just in terms of how far and hard a guy can hit a baseball, it may be Brock.
How lucrative is that then for a National League team to consider him? Does that even come into play or no? There's a lot of guys like that?
Yeah, if you're that level of athlete, like that level of body, and just he's a 1% type of guy in terms of his natural gifts. So everybody can kind of do that as a pitcher. Like if you're that big, that much bigger, that much stronger, that much more flexible than everybody else, you can do that. And it's nice, but it's so hard to develop into a major league pitcher, and maybe even harder to develop into a major league hitter that they're not gonna.
Gotcha.
Unless you're literally Ohtani.
Sure, that's a different. You talk about a 1%er. That's a half percenter. There's a bunt back to the mound. This is Boisenau, and gets the job done. It's a sacrifice bunt. Parker goes down to second. There's a man on second as St. Mary's is still searching for their first hit. It's Will Boisenau, the DH and the sophomore, who gets a sac bunt to set things up for Ryan Mooney, who went deep last week for the first time this year, and he hit a nice long shot to left center.
And we need Mooney to to pick that up. I think the swing might have. I think his swings in general in the Liggett series were good, even though only the one was the bomb. I think he had better at bats, better swings. I think his BP today was good. I was here early to watch that. Look at that.
There's a fly ball to right. That's a base hit. It drops in. Holding at third is Brustevich. So Petrie holds Brustevich because he knows what he has behind him with just one out. But Ryan Mooney continues good swings. How about the approach here, Zach?
Yeah, the confidence factor is so huge when it comes to hitting. Like it's almost like unquantifiable. That's a fastball down the middle, and he didn't try and do too much. A little inside out, get the barrel on it. That's all we're looking to do there. Great job.
First hit of the game for St. Mary's, who's looking for their first run.
If Ryan Mooney gets hot, this offense is going to go to a level that's maybe never been reached. You know.
You're not lying. Square into bunt, safety squeeze, maybe a bluff. Runners to the corners. Now, Ryan Mooney runs very well, maybe the best on this team. An opportunity for him to run here, you think, no doubt, right?
Yeah, with a guy like Dresselhaus up, it's an more interesting question because you don't necessarily want to take the bat out of his hands, like as powerful as he is.
Sure.
But it's almost,
especially not now,
almost hard not to take advantage of the fact that you got a 6'3" runner on second base or on first base.
Is that what he is?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Very, very fast. He's faster than his brother was.
There's a chopper that'll score the run. It'll be thrown to second for one, relay to first, not in time. They will not get Dresselhaus. A run is in. No RBI on the play. Or is there? They will give him an RBI.
You can't assume the double play, right? So, yeah,
that's right.
I think they'll give him an RBI.
They will give him an RBI. Anyway, the game's first run is in by the name of Parker Brustevich. 1-0 St. Mary's, bottom of the third.
Now I think with 2 outs, guy on first, got your number 2 hitter up. Dresselhaus is also an elite runner. I think maybe you see more likely some running out there now, some activity on the bases rather.
Dresselhaus with 10 stolen bases to lead this team, a lot of speed. And credit him with RBI number 22 on the year for Jake Dresselhaus. St. Mary's with 7 players with 20 or more RBIs on the year. They have 10 home runs, or they have a home run from 10 different players. And they have 4 players that have hit 6 or more home runs.
And the single most notable stat out of all of that for me, they have walked more than they've struck out. And as a team, that is wild.
That is a really good number. 164 walks against just 145 strikes. That's a good catch.
That's a wild
That's why
number.
you're here.
It's an unbelievable thing at the high school level to walk more than you strike out as a team.
Blake Grimmer fouls one back. He's from the left side of the state, the shores of Lake Michigan. And he's found a home in Orchard Lake. I said, well, what's Spring Lake or Orchard Lake? He says, there's no comparison. Orchard Lake's the place to be, and I'm glad I'm here. And he's off to Volunteerville as Dresselhaus is off to second, and no chance for the catcher Owen Turner to get Dresselhaus, who steals his team-leading 11th base of the year. 1-0 St. Mary's, bottom of the third.
It's a good jump from a guy with good speed, and whenever you put those two together, especially in high school baseball, you're 9 out of 10 or more going to be successful.
No doubt. Grimmer batting .436 with 6 home runs. And he's ahead of the count now, 2-1. Brother Rice is riding a 5-game winning streak themselves. Warriors playing good baseball. They're in second place in the Central Division. Deuces are wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As our scoreboard catches up. Plan to the set, and not yet. Mr. Grimmer wants to think about it.
The pressure of this offense is absolutely unrelenting. There is no break. There is no, even when a guy is struggling, he's doing a good job to take his walks or at least put the ball in play or something like that. There's no breaks whatsoever.
Clans pitches upstairs, so he gets Grimmer on first, and now it's another left-hander he'll face, and Nolan Schubert, who has a team-tying 8 home runs on the year to go with 20 RBIs.
It's actually an interesting thing. Like last year, all these guys hit for power. Irish had double-digit bombs. Nolan did. Like everybody hit for power. Mooney had 9 or 10.
Dresselhaus.
And it was Dresselhaus who led the team out of the leadoff spot.
14. He led the state out of the leadoff spot. You're right. And that's just the depth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your number 6 hitter is leading you in RBIs this year. The leadoff hitter led you in homers and stolen bases. It's quite the combo. Is he a guy that's being talked about of being draftable? I did talk to one scout before the game. I mean, very impressed with his swing and his fast swing. Quick to it.
Yep. No doubt. The bat speed stands out. The approach stands out. He just like the body to grow into for some more power.
Sure.
He's got some positional versatility. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This is Nolan Schubert, another guy who we'll talk about. I want to see where you guys have him slotted draft-wise as well. Runners at first and second, 1 run in, 1-0 St. Mary's. And Robert Klan, who had a fast start to this game, he shut down the St. Mary's lineup for 2.5 innings. I guess you can't do it for 2.5, 2 1/3 innings. Second time around, it's a little different, right?
Yep, absolutely. You have to have a plan of attack your second and third time through, just like you do the first. And the St. Mary's hitters are almost too good for you to repeat the same approach twice, or definitely not 3 times. But first time through it was, hey, I'm going to come with velo. I'm going to be on either side of the plate. I'm going to attack you inside. And he was successful at it. He got swings and misses. He was missing barrels. He got some weak contact. But second time through the order, they're going to be ready to hit 88, 90 on the inner third if they have to. So it's have to change your approach, have to see a change up here to these left-handed hitters, something like that, something moving away from them.
We'll see if he starts Irish off with anything of that sort. Klan deals. It's a fastball on the inside quadrant for strike 1. Klan has walked 3 and struck out 3. He's given up 1 hit and just 1 run.
He's clearly identified inside towards the hands as a spot he wants to attack Irish in.
Got him last time to pop out on that pitch. There's a ground ball to second. Should get him out of the inning. Scooped up by the second baseman, Orozco, over to Fox, and the inning is over. But not before St. Mary's scratches the surface and gets the first run of the game. The number 1 ranked Eaglets lead 1-0 as we go to the top of the 4th.
Pure Barre is a full-body workout that transforms you, physically and mentally. Our musically driven group classes focus on low-impact, small movements that strengthen and tone your entire body in 50 minutes or less. Anyone is capable of taking Pure Barre, no matter your age or fitness level, and no dance experience is required.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great. Participate!
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. St. Mary's 1, Brother Rice 0. Brock Porter out for his 4th inning of duty. And we are very proud to have our sponsor in the house and the owner of 2SP, Joe Neal, with us. Joe, welcome to Orchard Lake. Welcome to this team that you've trained most of the year.
Yeah.
Welcome to this Brother Rice team you've trained quite a bit. Thank you for your sponsorship, and it's been a great partnership this year. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for having us.
You know these guys. These are not unfamiliar guys. I know not everyone, but these are guys that you've trained and you're very familiar with. How cool is it to watch them live and be able to see them play and playing quite well? These are the top 2 teams in the Catholic League.
Yeah, this is really interesting for us because it's, we just want to see a good game at this point. See these guys really show out.
2SP is sports performance and something that this area has really leaned on as being the premier leaders in sports training. What is it about training baseball players that you try to focus on that might be a little different than some other sports?
I think for me, it was something that I played growing up and I played through college, and it's something that really hits home with me. And we really started the business in baseball, so that's the history of what we've been doing a long time.
Sure. Owen Turner flies out to center. A good swing against Brock, who's given up just 1 hit. We're with Joe Neal, the owner of 2SP Sports Performance. And I was just driving by your place the other day. I was leaving Costco in Madison Heights and took a left. And
good spot to stop.
Yeah, always a great spot. In fact, I went to Costco in Bloomfield Hills before this. This one's lifted foul out of play. And lo and behold, I'm like, oh, there's 2SP in Madison Heights. Yeah. I've seen the one in Farmington Hills. I've seen the one in Sterling Heights. But anyway, it was good to see your facility, and glad you're with us here. This is Braden Dowd, who had the lone hit against Brock Porter. He had a double down the right field line. 2-1 the count. What a day for baseball, Joe.
Yeah, it's exceptional.
Do you do any training outside, or is everything indoors?
One of our facilities, we have a little turf space outside where we do some things.
Very cool.
It's nice to see these guys get a chance to play in warm weather.
It is, finally. 26 games into it.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to see a little bit different outputs by some of these guys as it warms up and stays consistent.
Let me ask you, is that something that's more physical for guys? They feel better physically, the muscles are loose. Why is the warm weather? I know there's an obvious answer, but there's probably several things behind it, right?
Yeah, I think they just get into a groove where, it doesn't take them as long to warm up. They don't expend as much energy, and they're able to put out a little bit more. Probably get better, A guy like Brock gets better as the game goes on, and most of these guys out here do. Even a lot of guys on the Rice team that we know, as they loosen up, they're going to go faster. They're going to run faster and throw harder.
A lot of speed on that team. Dowd is one of them. He's on at first, also a football player. There's a ground ball to short, could be 2. To McKay for 1, relay to first, double play. 2 for the price of 1. That went off the mound, headed to center field. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and sometimes it's good to be both. Let's take another look at the double play ball. Off the bat of Tristan Crane, a good swing, but a hop right to the shortstop and a 6-4-3 double play to end it. We're back with Joe Neal at 2SP in a moment. 1-0 St. Mary's as we go to the home half of the 4th.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. It's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Eaglets.
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. My name is Chad Bush. We're with our special guest, Joe Neal, the owner of 2SP Sports Performance. You take a look at the St. Mary's profile, 25-0, #1 in the country again this week for the 7th straight week. Catholic League Central Division, of course, co-divisional. Matt Petrie in his 12th season, looking for his 4th title. St. Mary's has won 5 state titles. Dylan Kark, an alum, 2019, who's doing good things at Michigan State. And here comes the St. Mary's lineup. 5, 6, and 7 due up. This is Minnie McKay, Ryan Minnie McKay, for St. Mary's.
Spent a lot of time with Dylan Kark when he was coming up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mr. Kark?
He's gotten a lot better over the years, so that's why you're starting to see really good things.
Doing good things. He had a hot April for Michigan State as their regular middle infielder.
I feel like baseball's one of those things. You just got to keep getting a little better every year, and then all of a sudden you start hearing about people.
There's a fly ball deep to right field, way back and gone! Minnie McKay plants one in the shrubs and right, his 2nd of the year, and St. Mary's takes a 2-0 lead.
He's literally one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Minnie just barrels balls.
He does. He went down on this one. As we get another look at it, He hit his first of the year last week, and this time just goes down and scrapes it off the grass, Joe, and drives it out. What is it about Ryan McKay? I know he trained with you last year and got bigger, faster, and stronger. What is it about this kid that makes him so good?
It's just consistent.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. All these guys, both sides, very consistent at what they're doing and putting in the work every day, and that's why you see such high output with these guys.
Yeah. That's it. There's no secret, right? I mean, you work hard. You got to have some talent with it, but these guys grind.
One of the biggest components of good players is being consistent overall, and people forget about that. You can lift as much as you want, but you need to do it every day and make sure that you're staying after it.
Makes sense. This is Jason Oliver. St. Mary's with a 2-0 lead, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Eaglets, who scored 1 in the third and 1 here in the fourth. They have just hit their 40th home run of the year in game number 26. Oliver pops it up to right. Wyatt Rupenthal circles the baseball and makes the catch one-handed and left. And there's one out here with a run in, and here comes Parker Brustevich, the sophomore.
Now batting number 9, Parker Brustevich.
Another guy that's gotten a lot better over the years with Parker. Started with him in 7th, 8th grade.
You look at this frame, Joe, and I mean, there's room to add some meat. I mean, this is a frame, though, that you drool about, right? I mean, he's doing this without even having his bulk yet.
He just keeps getting taller.
Yeah.
You can't keep up with it.
He's now 6'4" as he grounds one sharply to short. Handled by Crane, throws to first to Fox, and there's 2 outs here in the St. Mary's fourth.
Now batting number 27, Will Boisenow.
This is Will Boisenow, a guy who has not had a lot of plate appearance this year. It's just his 14th plate appearance. He does have a couple of doubles. He's a sophomore batting .300 in limited time. He's the designated hitter today.
Another guy that puts it out when he's working in the offseason.
Yeah, and this guy did play JV last year. One of those guys that didn't play on varsity as a freshman, like Parker Brustevich. And he's getting some minutes here today. And quite frankly, we don't know a lot about him. You could tell us more.
Yeah, Nate, he spent a ton of time with him, but I hear about this guy all the time, and just very dedicated to getting his work in every day, just like everybody on the rest, the entire team. So it's nice to hear. Those are things I think younger guys sometimes don't really grasp.
Yeah, sure. And there's a load of younger guys on Brother Rice's squad. All 9 are underclassmen. As Clan is about to throw his 62nd pitch, and it's upstairs. 2-1 the count.
You got Cheeseman playing third. I mean, that guy's changed his body over the years. It's unbelievable.
He can really run, too, can't he?
Yeah, very. He's a 6'4", 6'3" guy.
Wow. Pitch is low, so Boisenow draws a walk. It's like a 2-out walk.
One of the faster guys on the field right here.
Number 2,
Ryan Mooney.
A
6'2", 60? Is that right?
Yeah,
is that where you
right,
clocked him?
Right in the mid, 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in there.
Notre Dame commit. Ryan went deep last time out against Liggett. I guess that was last Wednesday. Swing and a miss. Ryan had a base hit. He has one of the 2 hits today for St. Mary's. It was a base hit to right, went the opposite way. Robert Clan, 65 pitches, has held St. Mary's to just 2 runs through 3 2/3.
I don't know much about this guy in the mound, but he's done a good job so far.
He's a good arm, Joe. He's a 6'3", 215 kid, uncommitted senior, 90-mile-an-hour fastball. And he's got a nice off-speed pitch he's developed. Another guy that's getting some late traction. There's a funky spinning grounder foul.
I think you hear a lot about guys signing early and committing early, but they'll find you. You throw like this, they will find you.
No question. We were talking about it. 90 miles an hour. Brian Sikowski and I mean, you've seen it now, and we were talking about programs like 2SP and companies like yours that train and strengthen. Swing and a miss. Clan with a big K, his 4th of the day.
After 4 innings of play, Orchard Lake St. Mary's 2.
And it ends
Brother
the 4th
Rice
inning.
0.
St. Mary's, though, gets a run on the Ryan Mini McKay bullet home run to right. 2-0 St. Mary's. We'll keep it right here as we go to the fifth. We're visiting with Joe Neal of 2SP Sports Performance. Joe, you're a former Wayne State Warrior yourself. You played baseball collegiately.
Yep.
And how much of that really prepared you for what you've been able to do now as a trainer and start your own business and grow it into what it's become?
It taught me, at the time I was coming up, I was a 2000 graduate. Actually played at Bishop Foley, played on this field several times.
That's right. Shout out Ventures Catholic League.
And went to Wayne State. And it gave me an opportunity to, figure out what I needed to do. I was a little underwhelming as a player. I was a good player, but I was didn't have a lot of the things that, a guy like, I was a catcher, so I didn't have a lot of things that like Ike had.
Who does?
Yeah. I mean, he's a special player, that's for sure. It just gave me an opportunity to really go, okay, what do I need to do? And use myself as an experiment and really try to figure out what it would take. Somebody like me who had, underwhelming power, a little underwhelming size, and figure it out to make it to the next level. And I was just that guy that kept grinding, getting a little bit better, and gave myself some opportunities that probably I shouldn't have had, and that's how I ended up there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's self-made, and then giving back to how you were self-made. 2SP Sports Performance. You can contact them 248-397-8945. Get them on email at contactus@2spsports.com. You can get them on the gram at 2SP Sports as well. This one has popped up down the left field line, giving chase as Mooney, and he'll make the catch. That's Boysenau, rather. No, that's Mooney. And Mooney makes the catch in left field with that floppy hair. Yeah, you can't miss that hair.
Now batting number 27, Wyatt Rupenthal.
And so Brock Porter is cruising along. He's given up just one hit. He's given up just 3 hits on the year. And 1 earned run. St. Mary's leads it 2-0. Game 1 of 2 today. How much of Brock Porter have you trained, and how much have you seen?
I see him more than I train him. Nate Sire does all of our training with the Orchard Lake St. Mary's boys, but
and I'm sorry, I mean you 2SP.
No, I'm around it for sure.
Yeah.
We talk about programming and talk about what needs to be done, and we bounce a lot of ideas. But
what do you see in him that's so special from a training?
Oh man!
And what do you see that jumps out? Forget it on the mound. What jumps out in the training room?
The fact that he can jump in the box and hit home runs is spectacular. He has a lot of athletic ability that I think a lot of guys just don't have overall.
Yeah, no doubt. 2 home runs in 1 game last week.
Now batting number 1,
monster
screwing around.
It's not, and that's the thing is like he can do a lot of things. He can dunk a basketball if you need him to. Those are things that I think make him a little bit more special than the average high school pitcher.
Yeah. Don't tell Todd Covert that. He's going to feel bad he didn't get a chance to use him. McKay fields a slow chopper throw to first, and he got him.
Spectacular.
Out at first is the speedy Max Orozco, and the side retired. We go to the bottom half of the 5th. Joe, I want to say thank you very much. We're going to get Nate in here and chat with him for a minute.
Definitely.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you down the line. We're going to have a game or 2 more with you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being a partner, and thanks for being a sponsor on the prep. We really appreciate that.
Definitely. Love it.
There he is. That's Joe Neal, the CEO of 2SP Sports. We'll take a timeout. We're back in a moment. This is the prep.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. 2-0 St. Mary's as we go to the bottom half of the fifth. Jake Dresselhaus to lead it off. Dresselhaus and St. Mary's leading 2-0. Brother Rice 17-6 overall, number 3 in our rankings. Bob Riker in his 25th year, the all-time winningest head coach in Brother Rice history. State champs in 2008. They have 3 state titles. There's a swing and a drive to center. Not deep enough. And the catch will be made by Dowd. State champs in 08, 94, and 92. Tito Flores, a graduate you should know, 4-year All-Catholic League selection, doing great things at the University of Michigan. Academic All-Big Ten. And second team All-Big Ten a year ago for the Warriors, a proud program. This is Blake Grimmer. Nate Sire has joined us from 2SP Sports Performance. Nate, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for your sponsorship, and thanks for coming today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Nate does a lot of the active training with a lot of these athletes in baseball, specifically at Brother Rice and St. Mary's. And just tell us a little bit about what your role is at 2SP.
Yeah, so I'm the director of sports science, and then I've worked with the St. Mary's baseball team for the last 3 years. Had a lot of these guys since they were freshmen, sophomores, so it's wild seeing how much they've grown up now.
It really is, and, headed for their 3rd state title, trying to get there, and these are guys that you've seen produce. It's got to be fun doing this for a living when you're seeing guys that are ranked number 1 in the country. I mean, at a high level. Is Grimmer is out, and Robert Klan continues to do great things.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, when I first came in with these guys, they were actually the first thing I was assigned to when I started working for 2SP, and heard there was this baseball team that was pretty good. You know, back then they had Logan Wood, Alex Mooney,
Sure.
Colson Titus. And, 13th ranked, I was like, all right, cool. We'll see how this goes. And, after the first week, Nolan had to go down to, I think, Mexico for 2 weeks to be on Team USA. It's like, all right, these kids are different.
Yeah, they are. Nolan Schubert, a little different himself. He's headed to Michigan like Logan Wood. Is he still at Michigan?
Yep,
Yes?
Logan's
Okay.
still there.
Nolan Schubert, 8 home runs on the year. Just 2 hits for St. Mary's. Robert Klan, the right-hander, 6'3", 215, has done great things. Have you trained Klan? Is he a guy that you've had work with? No?
No, don't know Robert.
Okay. That's a nice off-speed pitch that Mike Schramm did not ring Mr. Schubert up for. Brother Rice wanted that one. Rightfully so. We get another look at it. And, yeah, it was outside. Good call. Here's the 2-1. Line shot right at the first baseman, Fox. Allowed out, as they say, Nate.
Yeah, that seems to be most things with Nolan. That kid can swing a bat. It's something else.
Tell us about your training with him as we keep it here before we go to the 6th inning. We're visiting with the Director of Sports Science at 2SP, Nate Sire. You've trained a lot of guys on both teams. Look at that swing there from Schubert. What is it about him that's made him such a elite prospect?
He just knows how to use his body well. Doesn't always look super pretty, but, man, it's going fast. Early on, he just really skinny. I mean, he was probably 6'5", 170 when I first met him.
Mm-hmm.
Just turned sideways and he'd disappear. And it's just been putting size and strength on him ever since, making sure he stays mobile. And, man, he's really turned into something. I remember when he ran like a 7.3 60, and we had him at I think we had him at a 6.6 this winter.
Wow. What is it? Can you give us any specifics on the kind of training you do that improves, for instance, foot speed?
I mean, we just sprint these guys a lot.
Yeah.
We keep it competitive. We've always got the timers out. We're always seeing who's the fastest on the day. And luckily with the athletes we train, we can bring together big groups of really good, really top speed guys. So we were having winter sessions where it had Evan Hager, Parker Pico, Ryan Mooney, Nolan Schubart, Ike Irish.
Wow.
Jake Dressels, all these guys racing each other. And that put out, that was the first time I ever saw a 6'2". That was scary.
Well, you could get trained as well with 2SP. Contact them, 248-397-8945. Nate Sire, the Director of Sports Science of 2SP, is our guest. We talked with Joe Neal, the CEO, earlier, and they're proud sponsors of Long Ball Live and the Prep, and we thank them for that. Swing and a miss. Down goes Velasquez. So Alfredo is out, the leadoff man, and here comes Alex Cheeseman, a guy that can really move.
14, Alex Cheeseman.
55 pitches now for Porter, and the strikeouts continue to pile up for him. That is strikeout number 7 I have officially. So here's Cheeseman, the third baseman. Shortstop by trade. As Brian Sikowski told you, he's sort of learning that third base. He's more of a middle infielder type guy. Foul tip back, and Porter on the verge of the strikeout tally isn't as high as Porter's some of his previous games, but this is one of the best offenses around in Brother Rice. A lot of talent up and down. Porter has been efficient, though. Just one hit. Swing and a miss. 8th strikeout for Brock on an off-speed pitch. And there's now 2 outs here at Dan Petrie Field in the 6th inning. As we get another look at this pitch. That's the changeup, and that's nasty. How much do you work with pitchers, and what's different in the training for pitchers than a position player? What's really the biggest change?
Pitchers are probably one of our big specialties. The biggest difference we're making is making sure they can still do everything they need to in that motion, get their hips going all the way up the chain, going out through the shoulder, just to keep that nice, smooth action. We want them to be bigger, stronger, more powerful, but we don't want to get rid of what makes them good.
Sure.
Keeping Brock nice and whippy has always been the thing.
I like that word, whippy. There's a line shot. That's a whippy swing to center. Dresselhaus handles it. A good swing and allowed out off the bat of the sophomore Tyler Fox. Listen, Nate, we appreciate your time. He's the Director of Sports Science. Get a lesson. Get some training from Nate and Joe Neal. Give him a call. 2SP Sports Performance. And we appreciate your time. Thanks so much, Nate, for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
We go to the bottom half of the 6th. 2-0 St. Mary's.
Your dream, your drive, your grit. The heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all. And from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
We want to thank our sponsor, Dairy Queen of Pontiac. Thank you to the Ignashik family. Brian Ignashik was here, delivered ice cream, foot-long Coney dogs, chips, nachos, drinks, everything, ice cream. Thank you very much. They're located at 1525 Baldwin Road, Pontiac, Michigan, 1 mile south of Great Lakes Crossing. And we thank them so much. They are hiring. Apply dqpontiac@gmail.com. Go get a gig there this summer. How fun would that be? Great job for students, flexible hours, competitive pay, free meals, and more. 248-338-8636. Dairy Queen of Pontiac. We thank the Ignashik family for all the goodies. Ike Irish bullets one down the line. That's extra bases. The third hit of the day for St. Mary's comes by way of Ike Irish, who will pull up, standing up to second to lead things off here in the 6th.
You knew he was going to, at some point, he was going to get the barrel out on a fastball. Like, he'd been beaten too many times already today. And Ike's too good of a hitter with too much ability to not get the barrel out. And that's the same spot. That's Clan executing what he wanted to do. That's up and in with the fastball. And Ike made the adjustment. Yep. Sign of a good hitter when you can adjust mid-game or even mid-at-bat.
That's right. Clan has done a fabulous job giving up just 3 hits, but that's a big one for St. Mary's. Leadoff man at second, and here comes Ryan Minnie McKay, who left the yard his last time up. And that swing was looking like he was ready to leave it again.
Now you'll see him. The approach is always hit the ball hard, hit the ball far. Like, that's the goal. Want to hit for power. That's want to walk. Like, that's never goes away. But you'll see him now with 2 strikes. Man on second, nobody out. You'll see him take more of a team-oriented swing. We're still going to try and hit the ball in a gap somewhere, but this the focal point here is getting the guy over.
Minnie's going to go have a conversation down the line. This is the hardest guy to strike out in the St. Mary's lineup. Just 6 strikeouts in 91 plate appearances for Ryan Minnie McKay. That's a pretty good percentage.
Just a really good hitter, really good bat-to-ball guy. We saw the power, obviously, today already, but
that one's lifted foul on the off-speed pitch way out in front of it. St. Mary's trying to get some cushion. They're in a tight game. They played in tight games despite winning 47 games in a row. They've played a few 2-3-run games, Brian, in the last week or two that you need that, don't you?
Absolutely. It speaks to that's how you develop pitching depth. You don't develop pitching depth by only getting guys work when you're up 14-0.
That one is fouled down the right field line. That's a good point.
And Matt's always done a really good job of developing pitching depth, of finding a way to where by the end of the season he's got 5, 6, 7 guys he's very comfortable rolling out. Last year you saw it. It was Porter, it was Allman, it was Keyser, and it was Essig who really kind of rode the way through the playoffs. And this year I think you're seeing Porter and Caw, he's been really good, and Nolan Higgins has been really good. This guy on deck, Jason Oliver's been very good in the closer role. You're seeing it kind of come into form.
It really has. It's a 5-man rotation in the starters and then 4 relievers that have really championed the effort. There's a slow chopper to short, going to have to hustle. Crane fires off balance, and he got McKay by a half step.
It's a really good play by the shortstop there. It's tough. It's really tough to come in. It's really tough to have all your momentum taking you towards the plate, or even in this case, a little bit towards the St. Mary's dugout, and then not only make a strong throw, but make an accurate throw across on a guy who can move in McKay. I've been really impressed with Crane today. It's just a sophomore playing shortstop.
Yeah, he has been impressive. They're going to bring the infield in now with St. Mary's up by 2 runs, bottom of the 6th, and perhaps the Eaglets' final at bat. They hope so.
Oliver just wanting to loft one here. Irish can move for a bigger guy. Just want to get one deep into the outfield. And ideally, you stay away from left because Velasquez has a very strong arm. Dowd's arm in center is good. It's not as strong as Alfredo's, but it's good.
Ike Irish at third. This guy is a catcher and does so many things. He runs decent, right, for a catcher?
Absolutely. He's a good athlete. I think that if a team were to, and you'll see it right. Oop, bad read. Bad read, Ike. Run's got to score there.
Wants to give his buddy an RBI.
That's it.
85 pitches now for Robert Clan. Back to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just want to loft the ball here, get into the outfield. But Ike is an average runner on the major league scale. Okay. He's probably going to slow down as he continues getting bigger, and catchers don't usually run well. But
sure,
for a catcher who's in high school, he's a very, very good athlete. That's part of the allure.
Oliver takes inside, and so now runners on the corners, and here comes Parker Brustevich to the plate. St. Mary's with 3 hits on the day, but they're looking to extend this lead a bit, and Bob Riker's going to come out and have a word with his right-hander, who's now thrown 87 pitches today. Is there any activity out there, Pat? I don't think we have anybody. This might be his game, huh?
Don't be surprised to see Jason Oliver in motion here. Brustevich is kind of like McKay in that he's really, really hard to strike out, but he's still learning to elevate. He still hits a lot of balls on the ground. They're well struck. They're on the barrel, but a lot of ground balls at this point in his development. So Matt obviously going to want to stay out of the double play here, so wouldn't be surprised to see Jason Oliver moving.
Oliver runs well. Also might throw a wrinkle at Brother Rice. It's been a fine job behind the plate for Owen Turner. He struggled a bit in the first go-round. There's a safety squeeze that's fouled away. I think it was safety variety.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hard to see from our location if there was breakage. So
Safety
what do you do here, Skip? What do you do if you're St. Mary's?
Swing away.
Okay.
Gonna try and shoot the ball through the right side here.
The infield is back up the middle in double play depth. Brustevich won't be easy to double up, but it's a possibility if it's hit hard. Here comes the 0-1. 90th pitch of the game is bunted foul, and Brustevich is out. So that is out number 2. Is he not? No?
They give you another one in the Catholic League.
They do?
You can bunt twice foul because there's only 2 strikes. Yep.
My bad.
Yep. So
Did they change that rule from the 90s?
Well, 90s maybe. It was like it when I was playing CYO ball.
Okay. You were like 3 when I was playing.
Shouts out Sacred Heart Elementary School, Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, right on. I like Sacred Heart. It's a great parish. Pat went to Sacred Heart in Mount Pleasant, so you guys are all hearted up sacredly.
I have seen baseball games at Sacred Heart of Mount Pleasant.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Now you're geeking out on me. Ground ball to first, handled well by Fox. He handles, that's awesome. The run comes in to score. Parker Brustevich, or Ike Irish rather, makes it 3-0 in the 6th, and that's a big one there to put it in play, Brian.
Absolutely, and that's what you need. Like, this doesn't have to be fancy. This doesn't have to be sexy. We just got to get barrel on ball or get the bat on the ball and put it in an ideal location, and shooting it that way with the infield and double play depth, that's all you need. That's what you want. Good piece of hitting.
Actually, there's a ton of good baseball high school-wise in Mount Pleasant with the Oilers and the Irish.
Beale City right there, too.
Beale City.
Powerhouse in D4.
How could we not say Beale City? Absolutely. Remus can pop up once in a while out there. And, of course, you got you were up in mid-Michigan, Midland, Essex, Garber?
I was in Freeland, America yesterday.
Okay.
Watching Essexville Garber against Freeland High School.
You're a saint.
Love that part of the state, man. Love Bay City.
There was a nice hurler going, though.
Yeah, Tommy Shapansky from Garber. He's a guy, Michigan commit. He's a senior.
Yep.
He's good. Yesterday wasn't his best outing, but he's a good arm. I like it. I think he's got a chance to be a draft choice this year, but more than likely going to go to school.
Boisenau with a base hit to left that's going to score Oliver. Into score comes Oliver, and Will Boisenau, the sophomore, with 2 outs, comes through to make it a 4-0 St. Mary's lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
And this is a guy, Boisenau, he wouldn't have had this opportunity maybe if not for an unfortunate injury to Jack Crichton, which kind of opens up a spot in the lineup. But this is a kid I've been hearing about since last year. He played on the JV. Matt talked him up all summer like, Zach, I'm telling you, this is a guy, he's going to hit. I really like it. Took him on the varsity, hasn't played a ton, but this is St. Mary's. This is what happens when it next guy up, and he's pretty good. That's a sophomore.
Ryan Mooney's up, and he pops one up. And this is something that Fox has eyes on, and he makes the catch and handles it, but not before St. Mary's gets 2 big insurance runs as we go to the 7th inning. Brian Sikowski and Chad Bush proud to bring you baseball on the prep on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for watching.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Core bats. yeah, just overall it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use.
Welcome back as we start the 7th inning from Orchard Lake and Dan Petrie Field. He's Brian Sikowski. I'm Chad Bush. Brock Porter out for the 7th. The pitch count is at 63, and the first fella he will face is Owen Turner, the sophomore, and the number 4 hitter for Bob Riker.
Brock's pitch count has not had to go that high this year. He's been kind of 50 or 60 pitches at most times out, at least from what I've seen. And getting to 70, 75 is well within the wheelhouse here. I'd have to imagine Matt's ready to send someone to the bullpen if he has to, but right now this is Brock's game.
He just collected his 9th strikeout of the game, and there's 1 out. The Warriors are down to their final 2 outs, 4-0 St. Mary's. It's been a tight game throughout. The Eaglets had 2 runs scored in the 6th. There's a 1-hopper to McKay. He'll make the play to first, over to Brustevich. And Brother Rice is down to their final out here in Game 1.
That was the changeup there. Porter likes to start guys out with a changeup. He'll throw it first pitch, but that right there, you're kind of seeing the double sort of. He can miss bats with that pitch easily, but he can also get weak contact with it, and that's what's allowing him to keep his pitch count down.
At what point as a pitcher and somebody at Porter you're trying to improve your stock, does it matter if he's striking guys out versus getting them out on weak contact?
You want to see
both. Is that something, that people will make a note on? There's a pop-up. I want your thoughts in a minute. This should end the game. Oliver to make the catch and shallow left center, and the ball game is over. Orchard Lake St. Mary's has won their 48th straight game, 4th best in MHSAA history. The streak rolls on. And the number 1 team gets by the slimmest. Just a 4-0 win over Brother Rice. We're back to recap it right after this.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
so the interscholastic athletes may thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decision.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given for that.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game!
Welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. Chad Bush and Brian Sikowski with you. 4-0 St. Mary's wins it over Brother Rice in a game that we saw the first run in the 3rd. St. Mary's would add another in the 4th. We've got highlights to bring you. In the end, though, a close ball game between two rivals, and St. Mary's gets another one. But Rice showed some things, especially Robert Klan on the mound. He's really starting to prove that he's a guy that can get some things done. Let's get to the highlights here. Brock Porter was pretty special in this game.
Absolutely.
Brian, it wasn't a great quick start, but he certainly recovered and had a fine performance.
Yeah, once he got locked in, Chad, it was kind of business as usual for him. There's an element of, and this is kind of like the game within the game that maybe not everybody sees, but we all know that Brock Porter's changeup is his best pitch. We all know he can go out there and sit fastball, changeup, and that's all, and probably throw a no-hitter every time he goes out. But that's not what big league scouts are here to see. They want to see the development in the slider. They want to see him pitch with the fastball a little bit more. And you can see that. He's gotten good advice from his agency, Scott Boras, and that. Like, hey, go out there and script your outings like we want you to and show him the things you need to show. And that's what he's done all season.
Minnie McKay with a solo shot to right center. That was back in the fourth to make it a 2-0 game. You saw Porter get some help from his defense on that nice double play ball. And Clan again here with some highlights. He was pitching very well today.
Yep. I thought he moved the fastball around well. I thought he did a good job attacking the inside corner. The slider's a good pitch. There were a couple coaches here watching him. You saw the guns going up. I think he'll have a D1 opportunity somewhere.
Good for him. This was the boys and out base hit to left that gave St. Mary's their final and fourth run in the sixth. Jack Crichton out, continues to be out. They hope he's back in a couple of weeks, but Boysenau stepping up today. As you said, it's next man up, and Boysenau pops in that lineup, and lo and behold, there he is doing things. St. Mary's wins at 4-0. We'll look for game two, and we'll preview game two in a bit. But, Brian, I want your thoughts on how long this streak can continue for St. Mary's. The all-time wins is not in sight yet. That's 78 by Whitehall. But they're now at 48, and the tally continues to climb. At what point do you start thinking about it? You were on the club last year. Is it ever a thought? I know last year Celine was a loss in the middle of the year.
Right in the middle.
Was that sort of the best thing that could have happened looking back?
Absolutely. And what it was is, like, Celine threw a guy who was unique to what we'd seen. They threw a soft-tossing lefty who threw a lot of breaking balls, threw a lot of strikes, and it was a cold day, wind blowing in, guys were still trying to hit the ball out, and so it was great because it taught them that, hey, sometimes you have to play a different game than what you're comfortable playing. Sometimes you have to win games playing small ball, playing ugly, playing for 1 or 2 runs at a time. You can't swing for the fences every time. I think it was a learning experience. Matt will tell you he doesn't care in the midweek. So, like, in the non-league games, leading right now, for example, like in a between league series game, that's when the freshmen start on the mound. That's when we get guys some outings. He doesn't care if he loses those games. That's where the development comes in. But with as much depth as St. Mary's has, as much talent they have, they keep winning those games too.
Yeah, and the longer that streak goes and grows, the more the expectation of it continuing. Let's get to the final numbers in this one. St. Mary's wins at 4-0. They moved to 26-0 on the year. They've won 48 straight games. Brother Rice's nice streak of 5 straight wins is snapped here as they look to come back in game 2. Not a lot of hits, not a lot of runs, but it was Dowd that got the first hit of the game, a double, and he was stranded by Porter. Porter ends up going 7 full innings. He has 9 strikeouts, 3 walks. He gives up 1 hit, no runs. He threw 57 pitches, 41 for strikes, and faced 24 batters. The Eaglets were led offensively by Ryan Minnie McKay's home run, his second of the year, and St. Mary's 40th home run as a team through 26 games. And the Eaglets also would get an RBI ground out by Parker Brustevich, along with a Jake Dresselhaus ground out and a Will Boysenau base hit and run driven in, which was the 4th for St. Mary's. That's it for game 1. Game 2 is next. We're going to pause. Don't go anywhere. We'll stay on the link. Thanks so much for watching. He's Brian Sikowski. I'm Chad Bush. Alex Westfall is your executive producer. We're going to start this broadcast back up in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We are The Prep. Thanks so much for watching. And welcome back to Dan Petrie Field. Orchard Lake St. Mary's has taken the field. The Eaglets won 4-0 in game number 1. Chad Bush and Brian Sikowski with you on Long Ball Live. St. Mary's 26-0 now. Brother Rice comes in 17-7. These are the number 1 and 2 teams in the Catholic League Central Division. Glad you're with us on this 84-degree beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And St. Mary's trying to get some things going with their sophomore right-hander, Parker Brustevich, who's tied for the team lead in wins. Yes, tied for the team lead in wins at 5-0. He'll be making his 7th appearance in his 5th start. He's logged 20 innings on the year, 41 strikeouts against 8 walks. His ERA is below 1 at .70. And Brustevich, the sophomore, 20 innings pitched, and this is a guy that, as we mentioned, a very good ERA, good whip, fastball that can reach the mid-80s, and he's got that 12-6 curveball and changeup that is really solid, Brian, and this is a guy that was on the team last year as a freshman, the only freshman on the team all season. Brustevich is a two-way guy. We'll see him on the mound here. What can we expect from Mr. B?
Yeah, he part of the reason he was on the team last year as a freshman was how many strikes he threw. That was the deal. He didn't throw all that hard. Most of his outings were 78, 81 or whatever with a big curveball. But he filled up the zone, and then that's one way for you to earn Petrie's trust right away is fill up the strike zone. That's what he did. Now we're seeing, more 84, 86. The curveball has more power to it. His slider is good, and he can still hit, as we've already seen. So still a two-way guy at this point for sure.
The first pitch is upstairs to Velasquez. Here's the lineup. Velasquez, Cheeseman, Fox, Turner, Dowd, Crane, Taransky. The changes are at the bottom, number 8 and number 9. That's Chase Vandermeed, who's in at third base, and it's Charlie D'Angelo, who's in at right field. Those are the only changes from last game. There's a chopper foul down the line, and Parker ahead of the count now, 1-2.
And he'll pitch backwards. He's comfortable throwing his curveball for strikes. The slider's more of a chase out of the zone pitch for him right now, but it's pretty much over the top. There's some verticality to the release that plays in his favor. He can really tunnel the fastball, curveball well out of that slot.
Good size at 6'3" and growing. Just a sophomore at 170. Room to fill out. But he's now worked the count level at 2-2. And that hits Velasquez. So the Michigan commit is aboard with speed at first to lead things off for Brother Rice.
This is a similar start to the last game. Velasquez got on via walk. They tried to move him over. We'll see if they do that here. As we talked about, Cheeseman's a real burner, so easy to potentially see a hit out of a bunt situation there. And that was just Parker's landing on his front side. He kind of yanked open and yanked that fastball across and hit Velasquez. Obviously not intentional or anything.
Right in the hammy. He got him right in that right hammy, and we'll see if that impacts his running. This is Cheeseman, who runs very well. Tough guy to double up. In at third is Grimmer. We'll set the defense for you in a moment for St. Mary's behind their sophomore hurler, 5-0. Parker Brustevich. Cheeseman followed by Fox and then Turner.
Obviously, having Irish behind the plate, it gives a young pitcher like Brustevich confidence to throw his breaking ball, confidence to bury the slider. Ike will be there to pick it up.
Yeah.
Always helpful to have.
Ike has been so good in that run game.
St. Mary's has been very, very blessed / good at developing catchers the last several years. Has always been a veteran guy back there.
There's a foul out in front of that one. Was Alex Cheeseman, the junior third baseman. This is a fine player. One of their impact players, as you see the good crowd starting to grow here. A lot of scouts on hand, a lot of hype for this game. And we're glad you're with us here on the prep for Game 2. St. Mary's won Game 1 4-0. Oh, 0-1 the count to Alex Cheeseman with a man on, nobody out. Runner not going, check swing. Did he go? Yes, no, he did not. Sorry. Jumped the gun on that. Bob Conway wanted some help. Mike Schramm says, yeah, he didn't go.
It's a good pitch there. Fastball riding up in the zone with no balls. That's a good spot for it. A lot of people think of a waste pitch. Well, a waste pitch still has to be tempting enough to be swung at. So
Change that eye level.
Important to command it in that respect.
Yeah. Brustevich upstairs here, and now working ahead is Cheeseman. It's a full count, says Pat the Stat. Popped him up. This is in play and drifting foul and not being tracked. Aiden Donovan, who's not a typical first baseman. He got a late jump on that, Brian, and nobody found it in the Bermuda Triangle.
It's an impossible play for a first baseman, like literally directly behind where he's set up. Like that's such an impossible play. That has to be second baseman's ball 9 out of 10 times, maybe right fielder, but it's not like that was a fault to Minnie. You can see him playing up the middle here. That's why they have Cheeseman shaded. That's a long run for him. Just in the right spot to drop is all that was.
Even after he was trained by Nate and Joe Neal.
You could see the speed improvements. There's no doubt about that.
There goes the runner. Throw down to second. It doesn't matter. It's a walk. Bob Conway said so. So 2 men on, nobody out. The first 2 hitters walk. It's a strikeout. I apologize. Conway punched him out.
Number 18, Tyler.
My bad.
Fox.
Saw the throw there from Irish kind of take McKay to the shortstop side of second base. We've talked about it kind of ad nauseum. Mike has maybe the strongest defensive arm behind the plate. We'll get a look at it here. Looks like Brustevich went fastball down at the hollow of the knees, was called a strike. It had a chance at strike him out, throw him out there. It's a good pitch from Parker.
Sure was.
That's one of the tougher ones to throw in as a catcher, too, the one you have to reach down for a little bit.
Yeah, it sure is, and especially when you don't know what the call is either. I mean, you got to pop up firing, obviously, as a catcher, and Irish has some of the best pop in the country from behind home plate, but Velasquez has some great speed, and now he's in scoring position.
Don't be surprised to see Ike throw behind him here either.
Fox, the hitter. Foul tip. Ike couldn't hold on, and so staying alive is the sophomore. A lot of sophomores in this lineup. Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sophomores.
And a lot of those guys played last year, too, as freshmen. I think this, like we talked about in the first game, this team and Liggett, along with St. Mary's, are going to form quite the triumvirate next year and in the future in the Catholic League.
League's only getting better. Liggett entered this year into the Central Division. They've proven to be competitors, although it's a different world than the Double-A.
It's a different world, and they're finding that out. You have to get up every series a little bit more than you would have last year, and that's okay. They've split with Rice. They've lost 4 times at St. Mary's. We know that, but they're beating the other teams. It's kind of what you need them to do.
Pitches outside, 1-1 the count. Rice trying to put something together and put St. Mary's in a hole. They had base paths filled up a bit early on in game 1, unable to score. Brustevich not ready. Little bluff play. This is a fine bat in Fox, the number 3 hitter and the first baseman. Staying alive, hanging around, waiting for his pitch.
It's a good job of Brustevich to not lose track of Velasquez there out at second base. Even with a left-handed hitter up and even with Ike Irish behind the plate, Fredo's such a good base runner and such an instinctual player that stealing third here becomes an option. And 9 times out of 10, everybody will tell you steal third base off the pitcher, not off the catcher.
Somebody you got to keep an eye on. And the pitch count continues to climb here in the first inning for Parker Brustevich.
See Irish getting frustrated. We're not getting swings and misses because I think that Parker is doing a fair job of hitting the spots that Ike is calling. Just a really good at-bat here from Fox.
Sometimes just got to tip the cap to the hitter for hanging around. Righty against the lefty. And the battle continues, and this is something you'll put an asterisk next to. It's a first inning that's seen Brustevich's pitch total get to 19 right now.
See, I'd like to see him bury a slider down and in here at the back foot. Everything's been out over the plate or on the outer edge.
We're running out of baseball. Somebody better go fetch those. I mean, we are That's some serious battle going on here. What is this, a 10-pitch at bat? My goodness. Pat the stat all over it. He nods his head. It is indeed 10 pitches. 1 out, man on second. Top of the first. Line shot down the line, saved by Donovan. Might have saved a run. Collects the out. That's a fine play by the fourth-string first baseman to make a play down the line. I hate to say it, but this is a kid that makes a whale of a play and steals a double.
Put athletes in position to make plays for you, and they will. Matt goes out for a conversation with Parker here in the first. But, yeah, what a play by Aiden Donovan, who is a pitcher by trade, primarily a right-handed arm. But athletes with instincts, one step and a dive, that's a great play.
Wow. And I say it with all due respect.
Absolutely.
He's just not a guy that's used to playing.
No, he's not.
He's a pitcher.
Yep.
And when he's been out there, we've seen him at third. But, man, you throw the kid in at first and makes a great play. Now, Matt Petrie's out to have a word with his pitcher in Irish, and I wonder what this is about. Whatever it is about, Bob Conway's heard enough. He's got dinner plans at the DAC.
I don't know if Matt's out there talking strategy or if maybe he saw something. He's not a big mound visit in the first inning guy. Like, Matt very much wants his pitchers to pitch their own game, to pitch out of their own jams early, to settle themselves in. He doesn't want to have to do that, but in a big rivalry game like this, doesn't want to get behind early.
Makes sense. Pitch is low. Matt Petrie, former Brother Rice hurler, left-handed pitcher. He's thrown BP. This one's fouled back.
He throws a pretty good BP, but it's definitely Teddy Two-Step, who is the best BP in the team. There's no doubt about that.
I love it. Look at that ball. That ball's just lodged up there. That's a good shot. Thank you, Brandon. Teddy Two-Step, he throws the best BP?
No doubt.
Okay. Did you ever throw BP?
Oh, I'm terrible at it. I threw it.
Yeah.
I was a willing participant, but the guys will tell you.
You're a catcher by trade, aren't you?
Yeah, you got to get in there and be ready to hit when Coach Sack is throwing BP. I'm not there to make you comfortable.
There's a walk. So there's a runner at first and third now, 2 outs in this top of the first inning. It's taken forever. My goodness.
Good approaches from Rice.
Yeah.
Don't swing at balls. It's a very talented team. We've talked about their youth, but that kind of almost takes away from how talented they are. It's a very good team. It's a very well-coached team like they are every year. Big spot for the sophomore here.
Well coached indeed. Bob Riker in his 25th year winning as coach. There's another shot down the line. Donovan won't have to snag that one. This is Braden Dowd. Braden Dowd, the center fielder. The number 5 hitter. And a guy with some juice in his bat. Had a double in game 1. And there go the papers, and here comes the wind. Thanks, sir.
That Orchard Lake wind we all know so well.
Oh, it's been very well behaved so far. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the right side. That's a base hit. Alfredo into score. Heading to third is Turner. The throw not in time. Down to second goes Dowd. And it's a 2-out RBI single for Braden Dowd. And it's 1-0 Brother Rice.
Good play all around there. Good base running by Dowd to follow up. You saw the throw from Schubart going to third. Took second, so now you got second and third with 2 outs. But, hey, good piece of hitting. Got a pitch down and in. Didn't try and do too much. Just get a barrel on it that way. That's all you need to do. Sneak a ground ball through the right side. RBI single.
Dowd stays hot. Brother Rice gets on the board first, and they've got 2 runners in scoring position still with 2 outs. And this is Tristan Crane, the sophomore, who's played quite well in the field. And he looks at a snapper over for a strike, says Bob Conway.
That's when Brustevich is going especially well, when he's throwing a breaking ball for a strike the first pitch. That's when he starts at bats off and he's comfortable throwing it for a strike, because it's not a swing and miss pitch yet, the curveball. So if you're going to use it, you want to steal a strike with it early as much as you can. And there's a better look. That's more of a slider look there.
The slider gets him out of the inning, but not before the Warriors get on the board first. They lead it 1-0. Here come the Eaglets. back to Dan Petrie Field. Pitches down low to Jake Dresselhaus as we look at the Orchard Lake St. Mary's lineup, led by Matt Petrie in his 12th year. Dresselhaus, Grimmer, Schubert, Irish, McKay, Oliver Brustevich, Boisenau, and Mooney for the Eaglets. Fouled away. 1-0 Brother Rice. His name is Brian Sikowski. My name is Chad Bush. And we are happy to bring you baseball in Game 2 from Orchard Lake, Michigan. This is the right-handed pitcher, Ryan King. King is a junior, 6'4", 190. So good size kid, Ryan King. A big responsibility here, shutting down the St. Mary's lineup, who was limited to just 4 runs in Game 1. There's a swing and a drive. Deep to center, way back, and caught at the warning track.
That's 2 from Dress today that have been run down that he's gotten the barrel on. Just looked like he kind of got out in front of himself a little bit, couldn't quite buy enough time on that breaking ball, and that's what cost him that last 20 feet of distance or whatever. But still a good swing, still a good sign for St. Mary's to be on the curveball that well early.
There's something to be said for good swings. Ryan King, the junior right-hander. Game 2 of the doubleheader against CC, he was outstanding. 6 and a third innings pitched, and didn't walk anybody or give up a run. There's a shot to right center field. This one's deep, and this one's off the wall. Grimmer finds the wall, finds second base, cruises in with a 1-out double, and rocks that baby as he awaits at second, hoping to tie the game.
And this looked again like King just tried to start the at-bat off with a curveball. Grimmer was ready for it. Maybe it hung up a little bit more than he wanted to, but that's the happy zone for a left-handed hitter, and that's what you're supposed to do with it.
Yeah, sure is. The double by Grimmer, and that will bring up Nolan Schubert. Schubert now batting on the year north of 300, really raised the average, had a great week last week, hit 2 home runs. He's batting .314 with 20 runs driven in. This one's grounded down the line, and this will tie the game. Schubert making a bid for back-to-back doubles, and he has tied the game at 1 here in the bottom of the first.
You're seeing right here the importance of being able to hit the first pitch, especially in the Catholic League. There's kind of a general vibe that you want to take the first pitch. That's like an old school baseball mentality, make him throw you a strike or something like that. In the Catholic League, you only get 2 strikes. So these guys have to be and are comfortable swinging at the first pitch, regardless of pitch type, if it's in a zone that they've identified. And that's what you saw from Grimmer and Schubert there.
I want to ask you, how do pro scouts look at the Catholic League and the rules of 2-3 ball, and how do they evaluate hitters and pitchers? I want your thoughts on that.
In a vacuum, it really doesn't matter all that much. I guess for pitchers, you're not really seeing them what they look like if they have to go 80 or 90 pitches like Brock, but that's really kind of irrelevant. We saw it on the summer. We know he's a built-up kid. He's strong. He's got a good body. And as far as hitters go, it can make them a little bit more aggressive than teams might like to see as far as what pitch type they swing at, what their swing decisions are. But that's the name of the game. You have to be. You can't be as patient.
It's taken into consideration and not used against
Absolutely,
them?
Absolutely. I still get comments all the time, like talking about guys like, hey, how are those 1-1 counts doing up there? And I'm like, bro, we played a doubleheader in 3.5 hours. You're still at your game, so.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get back home to Cleveland
tonight. I was home before dark, bro. Like, I don't know what you're upset about. Yeah.
We got the general idea.
Yeah, it's
2,
still
3,
baseball.
3, 4. Yeah, the rules are the same. Here's like Irish. Man on second, and that's chopped to second. And an easy play for Cheeseman over to first. Cheeseman moving over from third to second base for the Warriors defensively.
That looked like a changeup there from King. I think we're seeing already somewhat of a mid-game adjustment from him. He tried to throw curveballs to Grimmer and Schubert, and both were hammered. So I think we'll see him go more changeup to left-handed batters here.
Makes sense. He's given up 1 in this inning. He's got a runner at third he'd love to strand, but Ryan Minnie McKay trying to change that. And that one nearly nipped him on the toe. fine stop. I can't tell you how many times we saw, and I know you weren't with us, maybe you saw the first Brother Rice St. Mary series. It was a whale of a time. The weather was tough, but the catcher for Rice, I mean, they had a couple catchers in there. It was hard for them to catch the ball that day.
Yep.
Pitchers were all over.
Yep.
Today's been a much cleaner game behind the plate. As I say that, there's a pass ball and the game's run scores 2-1 on the pass ball.
It's
and the
hard.
Jinx.
as pitchers, and this is something we talked about earlier on the first broadcast, as pitchers have gotten way better, as their stuff has exploded, as guys are throwing harder than they've ever thrown before, as that development has come along, that makes a catcher's job that much harder. Because now you have a kid, instead of maybe he's throwing 84, 86, and he's going to throw 90 eventually, and he's still figuring out his command. Now that dude's throwing 92 and still figuring out his command.
Right.
So it's harder for catchers, and that's why when you have a good one, you especially appreciate it.
McKay pops it up, and the inning is over, but not before St. Mary's gets 2 and takes the 2-1 lead. We go to the top of the second from Dan Petrie Field. Back in a moment.
Your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
You look at the arms race, St. Mary's, the pitchers. Look at the starters. Porter, Kieran, Higgins, Brustevich, Donovan. There's a swing to right. This one fairly deep, but Schubert has a beat on it and makes the catch. And back to that number, I mean, look at this, Brian. You got the 5 starters, 5-man rotation, right? 4-0, 5-0, 3-0, 5-0, 4. And then you got the relievers to go with it. Kafoulis, Oliver, Skorupski, and this Tuvalian kid who's a freshman who's electric. So, I mean, they got it all. And there's guys there that we didn't list, but those are the leaders.
They're scoring, 8 runs a game or whatever the average ends up working out to. The offense is unbelievable,
10.
But they've allowed 30 runs in 26 games now or something like that.
That's right.
That's what we talked about when
right.
it's close games. It's 4-0. We've seen some 1-0. We've seen some 2-0. They have the confidence of, hey, we're gonna roll a shutout when we roll out there. And we'll score more than one,
right.
Kind of the mentality.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all it has to be. St. Mary's is outscoring their opponents 10-1 just about this year per game. This is D'Angelo. Charlie D'Angelo plays wide receiver on Coach K's football team at Brother Rice. You recall his grandfather, Joe D'Angelo, the longtime football coach at Country Day, also at Cranbrook for a minute. And he draws a walk. He's got some speed with 2 outs, and he's on at first.
I think Parker just kind of rushed there. He had 2 really quick outs and kind of sped himself up a little bit.
7,
you don't want to walk the
Velasquez.
9-hitter with 2 outs. It's kind of Matt might have gotten to half a chair kick on that one. I don't think we were full chair kick.
What can you tell us about Matt Petrie? What are his little innuendos? Does he kick chairs?
Oh, it hasn't happened in a couple years, but there was some serious chair kicking.
Is that right?
Back in the day, and not
is he a karate guy?
No,
is he
no,
a martial arts
it's
guy?
an uphill. You better be out of the way of the chair because he will kick it. And, it will hit the back of the dugout. And it's not often. I've only seen him do it 3-4 times in the time I've known him. But he will kick a chair.
Oh, boy. Well, he might kick a chair here. He's not going to kick Bob Conway, I can tell you that.
No, sir.
But he's going to have a discussion with him.
He wants interference there on that back pick to first base from Irish. And I, quite frankly, as a guy looking directly down the line, agree with him.
We'll try to listen in and get nosy because we can. Let's try to get a replay here, too, in a minute of what do you think the debate is?
They're definitely talking about interference there on the hit.
Interference, okay.
Yeah, Irish tried to back pick D'Angelo at first on the first pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, the back throw.
From Brustevich, and I think Fredo kind of was either in the way or close to it one way or another, and I think there's maybe an argument to be made here, but...
Is there going to be a kick after this?
No kick here. No kick
here?
The kick might be building, but there's no kick yet.
If there's no kick, what's the next aggression move? What's a light aggressive
It's like
move?
a firm sit down. like an exasperated sigh, like hard sit down, hands on the knees.
Pitch on the outside. D'Angelo is a threat to run, but this is a good stick up, and this is their leadoff man, Velasquez. And he pops it up, fouling out of play. And a young fan from Commerce Township will take that one home. Brave enough to run in that man's backyard.
That guy's got to have dozens and dozens of baseballs back there, right?
Oh, you're not kidding. And don't think he gives them back. There's a pop fly. Gonna chase and get out of here over Brandon Cardenas' head. And a young man from Orchard Lake will take that one back to the dugout. Velasquez in a 1-1 count with 2 outs. D'Angelo, who runs well at first, not running. And Parker's starting to throw a lot of pitches here in this second inning. His pitch count is now north of 40 in the second.
He had a chance to start this inning. I think he had 2 outs or 2 pitches, 2 outs or something close.
Ground ball to short. Should end the inning, and it will, but not before a long, laborious second inning for Parker Brustevich. St. Mary's leads 2-1. We go to the home half of the second from Dan Petrie Field. Thanks for watching.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Corps bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Corps bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Corps bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Corps bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Corps bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Six, 7, and 8 for Matt Petrie, the head coach. By the way, let's introduce his staff. You need to know his staff. His dad, Dan Petrie, is the pitching coach. Theo Piccarelli is the first base coach. And Aaron Wilson is an assistant as well. That one is shot down the line. Oliver making a bid for the 3rd double of the game for St. Mary's, and he has it with a leadoff 2-bagger to start the second.
And that's after he swung through a good fastball in the first pitch of the at-bat. Good job to make an adjustment, got another fastball kind of riding in, and it's a good piece of hitting to be able to keep that from hooking foul, as inside as that was, as much as you have to get your barrel turned there. That's a good piece of hitting.
Yes, sir. Brother Rice's last state title was in 2008. Bob Riker did it against Saline. They won 8-0. There is a foul off the bat, or is that off his helmet? That's off the head.
I think we're going to call that off the old helmet. Yep. Oh, Coach Bob going to the pen here.
That's a quick trigger. And let's take another look at this.
Yep.
Ooh, right off the beak, the bill.
I think so.
Yeah.
He'll get ran for, too, as he's pitching. So he'll get to go in and recollect himself. Prstevich will. Believe they're going to D'Angelo here, Brother Rice. And if I'm not mistaken, he is sidearm lefty, funky look, tough to square up.
How about the Pearl Jam? Elderly woman behind a small counter in a restaurant.
I mean, we talked about Smashing Pumpkins earlier. It's only fitting that we keep the vibes going.
Todd Bartis, the PA announcer, also a big part of that DJing and music playing, and he does a great job. You mentioned that Brother Rice is going to go to their bullpen, and they will, it looks like. Is it D'Angelo? Who are they bringing in now? It appears to be number 4, and that is Alex Tribal. So Alex Tribal is coming in to pitch for Brother Rice. Tribal is a junior. Is that right? No. What's going on here?
He pointed to right field, Riker did, which made me think that it was D'Angelo who was playing right field, right? Yeah, I think that's D'Angelo. I think. Don't quote me.
We will call it D'Angelo. It's Tribal. Okay. All right. I don't believe it is, Father. The number's wrong. It is indeed Charlie D'Angelo.
I say Tribal's right-handed, too.
Yeah. We got a number issue. It's all right. It's not your fault. So Essig is in the run. Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we'll talk later, all right?
Off the air.
Just grab some wood, bub, all right?
Take a lap.
Take a lap. We'll talk later. It's the only time I can talk to my dad like that. He doesn't have a microphone.
I promise, folks, I know this is a mostly an audio medium from Chad and I, but we are getting some laughter here, so.
Well, we got a moment.
You just gave me a PTSD moment. Thanks.
Yeah, well, he's adjusting. Charlie D'Angelo after, and it is, to Pat's credit, Charlie is listed as number 44, not number 4. It is number 4 in the game. Alex Tribal is listed as number 4. You are correct, Father, but in theory it hasn't happened here. Charlie D'Angelo is in, 5'9", 165. He went to Our Lady Queen of Martyrs. He's a senior. And what do you tell us about Mr. Charlie?
It's a lower slot, funky delivery, funky arm stroke, gets high in the back, low in the front. Like, he's a different look guy. He's not going to overwhelm you with stuff. He doesn't throw super hard, but it's a different look, that lower slot, lower angle. He'll be tough on the lefties especially, and obviously with the St. Mary's lineup this year, the lefties are quite dangerous.
Yep, lefty-heavy lineup. This one's popped up. This is Will Boisenow, who had an RBI single. Boisenow's had limited time, but he made the most of it in scoring St. Mary's 4th run of the game. And their 4-0 win against Brother Rice in Game 1.
Let's see, I don't know if Matt will take the bunt off here, but not a bad idea to get a couple guys over there in this situation, especially with Mooney swinging it well on deck.
Gets the bunt down. It's a good one. Pouncing on it, throwing to first, and a fine play by Owen Turner down to third. Mission accomplished is Jolly, and there's one out, and here comes Ryan Mooney.
And as important, and you know, I was the hitting coach here for a number of years. I hate bunting. I really don't believe in it, and especially with a team as talented as this, I don't think there's a need to bunt that often. However, we practiced it every single day.
Wow.
For the situations like that where bunting is called for. It's an important piece of the game. I just think it's overused, personally.
Yeah, no, understandable, especially in this lineup.
Even as good a team as this is, there's spots to bunt. That was one of them, and it's important that you know how to do it and execute it well.
Yep.
And it's an important part of the program. They bunt every single day, even if it's not a big piece.
Swing and a miss. Ryan Mooney, guy who had a hit and an RBI back in Game 1. He's got 2 potential RBIs out there now.
Would love to see a repeat of what he did in Game 1, that line drive on the right field line.
Infield is in. Squares to bunt, safety squeeze on, and it's not quite on there. It's fouled away.
Ryan's older brother, Alex, obviously was the senior leader of the team last year, now playing at Duke. But his oldest brother, Jack, also a veteran of this program.
Sure.
Maybe the greatest bunter I've ever seen.
Is that right?
I hope he's listening.
Jack Mooney at University of Michigan. And did not play baseball at Michigan, but scholar.
That's all right. He's going to be the president one day.
Yeah, no, it's a great young man as well. And he was a fine player. I think he was an all-Catholic League player.
Good player.
Hey, it's hard in the Mooney family.
Yep.
I mean, you could be like the worst Mooney and be, all state.
Still pretty good.
And still be committed to Notre Dame
That's
or
true.
committed to Michigan or committed
Right.
to Duke. It doesn't matter. Like anybody would take that. Runners are everywhere. There's one out, and Jake Dresselhaus is up against Charlie D'Angelo. And the lefty goes off the glove of Turner, and there's one out, and this is a big spot for Rice here. You don't want to get this thing away this early.
I was sneaky, a really good at bat from Mooney. Those were borderline pitches that I think prior to this week, even this year, he's swinging and missing at. So to see him taking those pitches at the top of the zone, allowing him to work into better counts, taking better swings on pitches that we actually want to hit, we're seeing that bat kind of wake up a little bit. It's been encouraging. The BP was good today. I'm very encouraged the last couple of days.
Confidence building, no doubt. Dresselhaus gets an RBI, bases loaded walk here. It's 3-0 or 3-1 St. Mary's now. So Oliver in to score, and with the bases loaded, Blake Grimmer is drooling like the butcher's dog with one out, and this is his spot.
I think here's where we're going to see this left on left, the importance of this left on left matchup here.
Popped up, and this thing is going to get out of play. Good crowd on hand, by the way. Look at that crowd. Yeah, look at it. Good time to be alive in Orchard Lake right now. Number 1 ranked baseball team in the country. We'll get to the rankings here shortly. National and state of Michigan. There's a ground ball down the line. That's a fair ball. Just over the bag. Into score comes Essig. Right behind him, Mooney. Dresselhaus coming down the line, and he'll score. It's a 3-run double for Blake Grimmer, and it's 6-1 St. Mary's in the second.
Bats are woken up here, and you can see the speed on display there. Dresselhaus scoring all the way from first. That's not a play he should score on. The ball was fielded well. It didn't get all the way to the fence in right field. It's a solid arm out there. This is a good fundamental team. They did everything right, but that's the difference between having a plus runner out there and an average runner out there. That wasn't even a play at the plate.
And it was a commitment to score from the time he took off with that
Line
secondary
send
lead.
from Matt. Yeah, Matt was waving him before he even got there, no question.
Yep, and that's knowing your players, your players knowing you and what expectations are. It's 6-1 St. Mary's, and Nolan Schubert trying to add on to the fun.
Come on, Nolan!
Grimmer edging off a second, a 3-run double.
Nolan's had some difficulties with swing and miss against left-handed pitching specifically. This is including travel ball and in league play here in St. Mary's. So that's a good take there on a breaking ball away. This is especially a little bit of a microcosm of an at-bat.
There's a tapper in front of the mound. They're going to have to hurry. D'Angelo can't get Schubert. They'll call it a swinging bunt single.
That's a rip, baby. I don't know what you're talking about.
Looks like a line drive in the scorebook, says Ernie Harwell.
Now batting number 18, Mike Irish.
So advancing to third is Grimmer, and you'll take these along with a 440-foot shot from Schubert.
Got to have both to be a good hitter, man.
Yeah.
Got to have both to be a good hitter.
And there's still just one out. Pat Bush is your statistician. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. Delaney Higgins, your graphics coordinator today. Sam Fisher. Tardy to the party, but he's making up for it now. Spinning audio like it hasn't been seen before. Adam Fuller is your replay coordinator today. Kyle Buchanan, your chief cameraman down the first base line. And Brandon Cardenas, Downriver's second finest next to Brian Sikowski, is high above that third base dugout on camera.
We always have to. It's in my contract that we make a downriver mention whenever I'm on with you. So
we have to.
Absolutely have to. Shouts out.
Hey, my niece goes to Gabriel Richard in Riverview.
Absolutely.
And does some great things in the drama club and
awesome.
Done some lead-in plays there. So very common path for us to head down. There goes the runner. There's a swing and a drive way back and right. Going back is Dow. Did he make the catch? He did. Tagging and scoring is Grimmer from third, and it's now 7-1 Orchard Lake St. Mary's on the sacrifice fly to right that just missed getting out of here.
I thought he got it off the bat, and I think he did too. But yeah, good play out there in right field.
I didn't see the right fielder fall down.
No, that's a good play. Hey.
The right fielder, by the way, is Wyatt Rupenthal.
It's a nice play to stay on it and stay balanced to the last moment.
Or at least it was Rupenthal. Bob Riker made a few changes to get his lefty D'Angelo in. But how about the left-handed outfielders for Rice? Count them up. There's 4 of them, including the guy on the mound who plays in the outfield.
A lot of left-handed bats in that Rice lineup.
McKay, a left-handed bat, pops one up. And D'Angelo gets out of the second, but not without giving up a 5 spot. And St. Mary's boosts that lead to 7-1.
St. Mary's 7.
Thanks for hanging out on the prep. Take a look at our national rankings, and these aren't ours. This is Collegiate Baseball Newspaper's rankings. St. Mary's number 1, Stoneman Douglas number 2, Orange Lutheran moves up to number 3. They were at 6 a couple weeks ago. Summerall from Mississippi at 4. Providence from NC is 5th. They jumped up. Calvary Christian from Florida 6th. Rockwall Heath, Bishop Gorman, and so on and so forth. There is a team from the Midwest that's inching their way in. Is that a Pennsylvania team that I believe got in the top 10? We'll take another look at that ranking in a second after this pitch. I think there was a team from Pennsylvania. So the Midwest is getting some love nationally, Brian. And you look at these rankings, yeah, Tompkins from Texas. I think it's a team at number 11 from Pennsylvania. But nonetheless, St. Mary's representing the Midwest here.
And there's good, there's nationally ranked baseball teams across the Midwest. St. Xavier in Cincinnati, that area.
Sure, Moeller.
Trinity in Kentucky. Walsh Jesuit in the Akron area.
Yep.
Not
far from you.
No, Edwardsville in Illinois was undefeated at one point. Brother Rice in Illinois. Yeah, there's some really strong baseball around the Midwest.
And I know you go around and see it with Perfect Game, and that's got to be a fun gig to go around the country. What's a typical schedule like for you?
It depends on the time of year. In the summer, it's pretty much gone on the road at PG events, and that continues into the fall. And early in the spring, a lot of indoor showcases in the Midwest, kind of my thing. And then once we get deeper into the spring, like where we are now, I'm 100% focused on draft coverage, trying to see as many draft guys as I can.
Yeah,
number 28,
and that's something
Owen
that's
Turner.
A lot of talk around here. Obviously, St. Mary's has guys that are draftable. What's the ceiling for St. Mary's and guys getting drafted potentially? There's a fly ball to right, and this is going to be a quick inning. We're going to keep it here. Schubert makes the out. 7-1 St. Mary's on top as we go to the third. Again, we'll keep it right here. The best case scenario for St. Mary's, I mean, they got 3 or 4 guys that could get drafted. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think as many as 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Porter, I think, is kind of a guarantee at this point to be drafted really high and be a professional baseball player soon. Then after that, I think guys have choices to make. I think Schubart will have a choice to make. Dressel will have a choice to make. Crichton will have a choice to make. These guys are all Irish will have a choice to make. I don't know necessarily which way they're leaning, what the parameters for deciding to sign would be for anybody, but I think there's a chance as many of them as 5 do.
Wow.
But
Unbelievable.
I think we'll see some Eaglets in college baseball for sure from this class next year. And I would imagine that Porter will be a pro baseball player in July.
Yeah. Did you ever think you'd be coaching or covering a team that has 15 Division I commits?
Dude, my first year out here, we were bad.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was not
that.
bad, but it was young. It was a very young team. The seniors who were good all got hurt at one point. Like the upperclassmen were hurt. It was a below-average year, lost in the regional quarterfinal or whatever it was. And in 2018 is when the tide started to turn. You started to see some guys come in who were going to be high level, and then 2019, obviously, we won the first state title of recent years. It was all these 22s, these guys that we just talked about. They were freshmen, and then that was the first time where it was like, oh, like. Wow, this might be something unheard of, you know, and it's just continued since then.
Yep, the Porters, the Crichtons.
Yep,
Irish.
That was the core.
Came in.
That was the core. The Porter, Schubart, Crichton, Dresselhaus was the core of those freshmen. They were all on that 2019 team.
What a class.
Add Irish to that, and Kieran Cawhey has come on in that class, and Brandon Skorupski has come on in that class. Nolan Higgins has come on in that class.
Oh, has he ever?
That's an unbelievable individual class of players.
Chase Vandermeet is now Cole Vandermeet is now in right field. Chase Vandermeet is at third base. They are brothers. Chase is a sophomore. Cole is a freshman. He has a twin brother who's also on the team named Cash. Their father is Mark Vandermeet, and he is the associate head coach at Michigan State and recruits this area quite a bit.
Brother Rice, long history of sending guys to MSU. That dates back quite a ways.
And CMU.
Yes, fire up chips.
Fire up. Swing and a high pop-up right center field. Drifting over is Dowd near the gap. He makes the catch. And there's one out here in the third.
Important now in this situation. Also, we do have a new pitcher.
We do have a new pitcher. We should note this. Thank you for pointing that out.
Absolutely. I just was like, this is not a 5'9" lefty anymore. This looks a little different.
No, it's not. It's no longer Mr. D'Angelo. And, of course, we learned that it's Patrick McLean. Patrick McLean, the 6'4", 215 senior. And a guy that we did see against St. Mary's back 3-4 weeks ago when we played at the Warrior Complex. We'll be back at the Warrior Complex to call the CHSL championship game.
Which may be these two teams.
And we will also have the Bishop and the Cardinal championship right here on the prep. Proud to report that, fresh off the presses.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Thank you. We thank Mike Evoy and Vic Michaels for allowing us to make that happen. We also will have lacrosse CHSL championship on Friday from Catholic Central. And this Brother Rice school in lacrosse is sort of like the St. Mary's in baseball.
I was actually just getting ready to ask you because I don't know anything about lacrosse other than it's for guys that can't hit curveballs.
There's a swing and a drive to left. This one's deep, and this one is off the wall. Cruising into second is Brustevich for the fourth double of the game for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and the pitcher helping himself out a bit.
That ball was hammered. We talked about Brustevich earlier, not really elevating the ball enough yet, but given the frame and how much room he still has to grow, that can come with time. But the most important thing, like we see here, bat speed, barrel whip, on the barrel, consistently accurate with it. The power will come. That swings like that is what makes me think he may be a two-way guy in college.
Man, no doubt. Will Boysen with a chance to drive in another run. He drove one in game one. A guy with limited plate appearances. This is just His 17th plate appearance of the year. And his 8th game that he's played in 27.
And this is the sign of a Matt Petrie program. The guys who he expects, maybe they're not going to get a ton of run this year, but he's going to expect big things from them next year. He will find spots for them to play. It's very important for him to get these guys game reps, and he does a great job of doing it.
It's hard to find reps here. There's a ground ball wide of the bag at third. Not by much. Bob Conway said so.
You talk about how good Dresselhaus is. That guy's been in he didn't really play that much as a freshman. He was on the team, but had 20 at-bats maybe, something like that. But Matt knew, hey, he's going to be important next year. Obviously, the next year got banged because of COVID, but he's going to be important to this team. We like the tool set. We like the maturity, the way he goes about his business. Need to get this guy on the team playing with the varsity. So the next couple of years, he's ready to roll, and he was. And we'll see the same thing with Boyce now next year.
There's a strikeout for McLean. And this is a pitch that fooled him. Nice one from the senior right-hander.
Yeah, good breaking ball there, top of the zone a little bit. Just kind of got him out in front, and it's a good pitch, good curveball.
Here's Ryan Mooney trying to get a 2-out RBI. Looks at an off-speed pitch over for a strike. McLean finding it a bit here.
In the Catholic League especially, we talked about it with Parker, if you can land a breaking ball for the first pitch for a strike, puts you in such a great position, such an enviable position to be in as a pitcher. There's another one there.
Does it again here. So McLean comes in and cleans up the third. Gives up a hit or two, but strands one. And at the end of 3 innings, St. Mary's on top, 7-1.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
You take a look at the Central Division standings. St. Mary's on top. Brother Rice right behind them. Liggett in that third spot. Catholic Central right behind him. Swinging a drive deep to right, and that ball is gone in a hurry. Home run.
That ball was absolutely crushed. I think that's Braden Dowd.
Braden Dowd it is. His second extra base hit of the game, and it's now 7-2 on the Dowd dinger.
We've seen it from him. We talked about it last year. He did the same thing to Tommy Allman in the championship game. He's an ambush hitter. He goes up there and looks for a spot. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't look for a pitch type. You look for a spot. And if it's in that spot, you take a rip, and that's a bomb.
Sure is.
That's not a cheapie out to right.
Nope. That one's rolling on Orchard Lake Road right now. Pitch down in the dirt. This is number 24. Crane, the catcher. Tristan Crane. So St. Mary's will play Detroit Edison on Friday at the corner. There's a ground ball to third. Grimmer will handle it and throw across the diamond to Donovan for a quick out. Detroit Edison and St. Mary's on Friday from the corner. We will not have coverage of that.
Now batting, number 17, Ryan Tyransky.
We will have coverage next week of St. Mary's baseball. We've got a full slate of lacrosse on Friday here on the Prep. Catholic League championships for the Bishop and the Cardinal divisions. We thank Vic Michaels and Mike Evoy of the Catholic League for that. The pitch Strike called.
Parker is sometimes he throws too many strikes, and sometimes you see that he gives up some barrels. The stuff when it's middle is not overwhelming enough to necessarily miss bats, but he's absolutely unafraid. Very next hitter, he'll come in and attack in the strike zone. No question about it. It's the one constant you're going to get from Brustevich. He will fill up the strike zone.
Now batting number 19,
to your point,
Chase.
He throws one down the pipe to Turansky, and he gets a base hit. Third hit of the game for Brother Rice. Sometimes you can appreciate that, keeping your defense
absolutely
aggressive, alert. There's a fly ball left center field. This should be out number 2. Catch is made by Mooney in left center. The Notre Dame commit. And there's quickly 2 outs here in the 4th with a run in for Brother Rice.
Now batting number 4,
and a man
Charlie
out.
D'Angelo.
When you have a big lead, like St. Mary's has spotted Brustevich a 6-run lead here, 7-run lead now. That's all you need. Just keep throwing strikes. Like, let your defense work. You don't have to strike everybody out. You don't have to be overwhelming.
There's a drive deep to right. Way back and gone. A 2-run shot. And that, my friends, is the second home run of the inning. And is that Charlie D'Angelo?
It is.
It is. So a 2-run shot for D'Angelo, and it's now 7-4. Brother Rice has cut it to a field goal.
You're seeing the importance between command and control here. Control, throw a bunch of strikes. That's what he's doing. Command, putting it where you want to. And that is most certainly not where he wants that pitch. That is up and out over the heart,
7,
elevated
Alfredo
and on a tee,
Velasquez.
screaming, belt me to right, and it did. So you're seeing the difference. That's a strike. It's control, but it's certainly not where he wanted it, and that's command.
Yeah. And that's off an air conditioner. Brother Rice has come up with a big inning and gotten right back in this ball game. It is 7-4 with 2 home runs in this inning off of Parker Brustevich, making a bid for his team-leading 6th win. Pitches upstairs. This is the leadoff man, Alfredo Velasquez, headed to Michigan. 2-way guy. And he drives one to left center. This is near the gap. Dresselhaus has a beat on it and makes a catch. Makes it look easy. That is not easy. But the speedy center fielder committed to Michigan State ends the inning, but not without damage done. 7-4 now as we go to the home half of the 4th.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
So Brother Rice with 2 home runs to make it a 7-4 games, but at St. Mary's it's had big-time bombs this year. You look at it, 8 home runs by Irish, 8 by Schubert. Dresselhaus was 6th, and he swings at one here and drives one deep to right, and it's off and over the fence. So a ground rule double, the 5th double of the game for St. Mary's, in a game that's been full of extra base hits. And they've got a man on quickly and a good response by the leadoff man.
That ball was absolutely hammered. We've seen Dress today square up a couple, but get run down, struggle a little bit to get fully on the barrel. That ball was absolutely hammered. And anytime you see a hitter who's able to use the opposite field gap with that much authority.
Yeah, no, you're right. St. Mary's with 40 home runs now. They hit one in game one. Did they hit one or two? They hit just one. Have they hit one yet in this game? No, they have not. Okay, so 40 home runs on the year. 76 is the state record now. Whitehall did that back in 1998.
How many did they hit last year? 65, something like
59?
that? 59? Something like that, yeah.
59, I think, was the number. I got that somewhere. So they are on pace. Right now, if you look at the numbers, they're on pace to be second all time and not catch Whitehall. But it's not beyond this team to start getting hot. And this is one of the guys that can do it in a hurry.
Especially as the weather warms up and the ball flies a little easier, too.
Yes.
But I bet you Matt has not given one single thought to that, something like that.
I'm sure. That's for guys like you and me to have fun with. Now you can have fun with it.
Yes, no doubt.
Dresselhaus on at second. He is Brian Sikowski. My name's Chad Bush. Glad you're with us. Swing and a miss. Down goes Grimmer. And a nice job by the pitcher for Brother Rice, Wyatt Rupenthal, who snuck into the ball game this past inning.
It's a good pitch on the outer third there from Rupenthal. You remember his brother, I think, Matt, who went to Vanderbilt and played pro ball for a while.
That's right. That's a good call. Here comes Nolan Schubert. There goes the runner to third. Dresselhaus throw down to third, not in time. Coming up firing was Owen Turner, but not enough for Dresselhaus, who gets his team-leading 12th steal of the year on third. And what did you tell us about third earlier, stealing third base?
You steal third base off the pitcher way more than you do anything else, and that was, you could see Dress timing it. You could see him trying to figure out if he had any deception to his operation there, and he didn't. Timed him up, and from the jump, he wasn't going to be thrown out there.
Look at you. You got your stopwatch here and everything.
You are of a scout, man. I watch games on my couch with the stopwatch in my hand. I can't help it.
It's awesome. Nolan Schubert accepts the strike call by Bob Conway. He might have helped him out there with an RBI. He doesn't know. He should be upset. Rupenthal on in relief. The third or fourth Rice hurler today. Dresselhaus on at third. St. Mary's by 3.
He's got some zip to the fastball here. We saw it against Grimmer. Like, Grimmer took a pretty bailed out swing on a fastball in the outer third. Like, this coming a little bit.
Yeah, it is. And this time a little cross-up job. Walks him. And so here comes Ike Irish with runners at the corners, 18, 1 out.
Irish.
And St. Mary's yet to score since the second inning, but they lead it 7-4.
Go, Ike.
Bob Riker likes his team, a scrappy team that really can run well. A lot of young guys. Last time St. Mary's, there's a base hit to left field. Dresselhaus in to score. RBI for Ike Irish. Schubert will stop at second. And the Eaglets are once again doubling up Brother Rice, 8-4 here in the fourth.
You see a good swing there from Ike. He wasn't trying to do anything too much there. He's had a couple good at-bats today, but not consistently great at-bats. And that was simply a inside out, get the barrel on it, shoot it that way.
McKay.
Great job.
It's so impressive to watch this team just spray the ball to the other way. I mean, it just seems like, guys in college and pro don't do it as much as this team sometimes.
They've really done a good job of adopting the approach, the mentality of, hey, you can have one for you, but then your next one's for us. And they do a good job getting themselves into plus counts. They do a good job, like we talked about, not swinging at balls. And as much power as they have, they're a very good hitting team.
They really are. Well said. You were a part of that approach for many a years. Were you the guy that told him to take it the other way?
No, I mean that's not like a.
Is it a mentality,
that's
though?
not like a methodical coaching approach to tell them to use the whole field. Like the thing I'm most proud of, and it's like we talked about already, is the pressure of never swinging at balls, never swinging at pitchers' pitches out of the zone, or at least doing it at a minimal level. Like taking your walks, constantly having base runners on, so that way you don't have to. You can force teams into making mistakes that go in your favor, and we've seen it how many times this year.
Yeah.
St. Mary's will be up 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden they're up 9 because we had runners on. Wild pitch, there's a run. Like ground ball, there's a run. Like you can be productive without being powerful. And as much as I love the power, big proponent of swinging up. Like that was something we definitely adopted here, whether Matt liked it or not.
But in swinging up, you mean
getting the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Getting the ball in the air.
Yeah. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, and Jason Oliver rips one to third. Vandermeed handles it, and that retires the side, but the Eaglets do get a run.
After 4 innings of play.
After 4 innings, St. Mary's is up.
Brother Rice
8-4.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends. How to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Pure Barre is a full-body workout that transforms you, physically and mentally. Our musically driven group classes focus on low-impact, small movements that strengthen and tone your entire body in 50 minutes or less. Anyone is capable of taking Pure Barre, no matter your age or fitness level, and no dance experience is required.
We want to thank our sponsors, Dairy Queen of Pontiac. Oh, is the food delicious. The Ignashik family, stand up. They're doing some good deeds over there, turning some great treats. 1525 Baldwin Road in Pontiac, 1 mile south of Great Lakes Crossing. They're hiring. It's a great job for students, flexible hours, competitive pay, free meals, and more. Give them a call, 248-338-8636, or go to applydqpontiac@gmail.com. We thank the Ignashik family for the fine, fine food. How about the foot-long conies? We got some ice cream sandwich, ice cream dilly bars. What can you say about the DQ? Who doesn't like baseball and DQ? I mean, it just goes hand in hand.
I for one, can't think of anybody. They do go hand in hand. You know, growing up, like you're playing ball, like nowadays it's everybody gets it's Dairy Queen. When I played, it was you got it if you won. But you know, yeah,
that's right. I always remember there was a limit, like a $2.50 limit.
We had playing Southgate Little League where I grew up. There's a place called Fudgies, which is just an independent.
It's a downriver thing.
Yeah, it's a downriver thing.
Yeah,
but man, that was like it's.
You know, I love that area, and I tell you what, one of the Wheat and Rye.
Oh yeah,
is one of the places that. Boy, we used to. I played for Coach Willis here.
Okay.
Not Jeff, but his dad.
Sure.
And John Willis, and he always he loved to talk about the Wheat and Rye.
Yep.
Whenever we played Southgate, whenever we played Riverview Gabriel Richard, it was we're going to go down there, we're going to get a win, and we're going to go to the Wheat and Rye.
Go to the Wheat. Yep.
Always was. The wheat was involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh, some good baseball, by the way, when we played back in the mid-'90s. St. Mary's and Riverview Gabriel Richard going at it. There were some good battles back when St. Mary's was Class C.
Sure.
And back when Richard was Class C. So here comes Alex Cheeseman. We have a new pitcher, and Cheeseman skies one to right. Schubert will handle it. And here's Brian Sikowski to tell you all about the left-handed commit to Davenport, Brandon Skorupski.
Yeah, Scrubs is kind of a sawn-off lefty is the vibe that you get there. That's the scouting axiom or whatever. Not overwhelming in size, but really competitive, really good makeup. His nickname is the Bulldog, and that's not by accident. Kind of earned Matt's trust quite a bit last year, pitching big innings in relief, and he's in the same role this year. Fastball's in the low 80s, 80, 83, up to 84 sometimes. He'll throw a big 12-6 curveball. He can throw a slider. Competitive guy, will pitch backwards, throws a lot of strikes. Just a great piece to have out of that bullpen.
A left-hander that throws strikes and has that, you mentioned it, that 12-6 knee buckling breaking ball. I mean, it can be lethal. And this is a good guy to have. Just keeps his mouth shut and works hard, too.
A different look coming out of the pen after, so many hard-throwing right-handers that St. Mary's has. That's a great pitch there.
He's also neighbors with our graphics coordinator today, Delaney Higgins. Delaney told us all the dirt about this young man before the game, and there was none. There was none, really. I kid. This one's popped up. Brustevich has a beat on it near the Brother Rice dugout, and he makes the catch. There's 2 outs now in this top of the 5th inning. In the St. Mary's 4-run lead, they won the first game by 4 runs as well.
Number 28, Owen Turner.
You're seeing all you're asked to do here as a reliever coming in with a 4-run lead is throw strikes and keep the ball in the ballpark as much as you can. Throw strikes, keep the ball in the ballpark. St. Mary's known for pitching. They're known for how offensive they are. They can also play defense too, so let them work.
I think it's the most overlooked aspect of the St. Mary's team is that they can really pick it defensively. And I think that gets overlooked quite a bit. Not that they need more praise, but I think it's certainly not talked about enough. When you've got the arms, you got the bats, and then the pitching's the fielding's the last thing talked about.
Yep. And it's you can tell a team's defensive strength by how they are through the middle. And it starts with Irish behind the plate. He's as good as anybody back there. And Oliver and McKay are fantastic, and Dresselhaus can go get it with anybody in center. And then you can look outside of that. Jack Crichton's a very good defender. Ryan Mooney is a plus runner who can play out there. Schubart is consistent in right field. When you have the option of sliding Grimmer over to first base, it takes on an even whole other sort of mentality of defense as well.
Does it ever. And then, of course, you lost your All-American shortstop from a year ago, and Alex Mooney had to replace.
The literal All-American, yeah. He's playing shortstop every day at Duke as a freshman, Alex Mooney.
Wow. Hitting at the top of that lineup still?
Yep. He's coming on, too. It's 290 now.
Wow.
Yeah, he figured it out as we knew he would.
ACC, you're doing nice things in the ACC as a freshman.
Yep.
He's draft eligible next year again, because of his age.
Going to go to Cape Cod this summer, have a chance to make a big impression, and the next year will be a big year for him.
Runner on at second, that's Turner. This one is laced to center. It's a base hit. Hustling to second and in. How about that? The run scores. Crossing the plate is Owen Turner, and Braden Dowd continues to bruise Orchard Lake St. Mary's pitching. It's now 8-5.
Tristan Crane.
This is the danger man. This is what we've seen. He's barrels all day. Have to be able to execute better spots against him, but when a guy's on fire, it's seeing the ball well. And he's seen the ball well against everybody today. Saw it well against Porter, saw it well against Brustevich, sees it well against Skrupski here. He's feeling it right now.
This is a guy that's Division I, Division II-ish, yeah? Braden Dowd, is he going to have a chance?
I think he's a D1 guy, no doubt. Yeah, I think he'll have an opportunity somewhere at Big Ten, maybe something like that. Yeah. He's a really good player.
A lot of tools in his belt. So here is Tristan Crane, the sophomore shortstop. Brother Rice within 3, not going away. Skorupski with a fine off-speed pitch there.
And that's a sign of a Bob Riker team, like a really well-coached team. These guys got a big deficit against a team they haven't beaten since 2018 or whatever. It was a good look at that 12-6 curveball there from Skrupski. Pulled the string on it. Great work from the video crew.
Yeah, that's Adam Fuller on replay doing a fine job. Alex Westfall turning all the tricks you could ask for as the executive producer. We appreciate his hard work. Appreciate you as well. Brian Sikowski on color commentary.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. The 1-1 is upstairs. Now, Brandon Justice, your cold weather bats counterpart, has also been on these airwaves, and he'll be back.
Absolutely.
And you'll be back.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun, you two, having you both the cold weather bat guys. Now, you two are going to get analyzed now.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm confident.
Throw to first and out. The battle of justice in Sikowski continues. We might even throw some cold weather bat rankings up there.
Let's do it.
Let's go to the bottom half of the fifth. 3-run lead for the Eaglets.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. It's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
On in relief is Alex Tribal, number 4 in the roster, number 30 with his road jersey. And this is a 6'2", 210-pound junior. And we did see Tribal in game 1. Let's take a look at the top 10, the way that Long Ball Live in the prep has it. St. Mary's, Liggett, Rice, Woodhaven, Howell, Dakota, Northville, New Boston, Huron, Downriver representing, Trenton, Downriver representing, and Country Day. I think those might have been a ranking or two ago. But bottom line is this. Everything's jumbled up after St. Mary's. It's wide open in the rankings.
Yep.
And, again, this is only Metro Detroit is how we do it. I know Cold Weather Bats does more of the extended. There's a shot to right center, and shopping at the gap is cool again. Brustevich to second with a stand-up double, the 5th of the day for St. Mary's. Here in the 5th, they got a man in scoring position.
He's turning into a power hitter before our eyes here, man. I'm almost tearing up. I'm so proud of him. It's like you touched on with the rankings, man. Number 1's easy at this point. At Cold Weather Bats, we've had Grant Blank, number 2, for pretty much the whole season.
They're not eligible for our rankings,
no,
so
of
we
course.
would have them up there too.
Yep.
We took some crap from the Grant Blank folks for not having them, and I told their dad leader that you're not eligible. I'm
listen,
sorry, Mr. Lally.
It's not a thing. It's just Metro Detroit.
Yeah, we have a lot of. In fact, Graham Blank has been on the prep more than any team outside of Metro Detroit in basketball and in baseball a year ago. Here's Will Boisenow, and he pops one up to center field. Dowd going back, tagging at second is Brustevich. He'll go to third standing up. That's a heads-up play by the sophomore, who's now 90 feet away from pushing this to a 4-run lead.
That's a good swing from Boisenow, too. Get a barrel on the ball. Hit it pretty good to center. Not certainly like a bomb or anything, but barrel on the ball. Good piece of hitting. Get Brustevich over. And now you need to see Ryan Mooney do the same thing. They're going to play their infield in. Need to elevate something. Need to get a barrel on it.
Squaring to bunt, Ryan Mooney. Safety squeeze. Matt Petrie likes this play. Now, is this called or is this on his own?
It's both. It can be either or.
Okay.
Yep. Matt will maybe have a conversation with a guy before an at-bat and say, hey, listen, if XYZ happens, I want you to try it once. There's a lot of guys who just have the green light to do it. It's same with stealing bases. There's a lot of stolen bases that are not called. It's just with veteran athletic kids, it's easy to say, hey, I trust you, don't screw up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Players play the game, man. The players play the game.
Sure. The coaches for Brother Rice, though, have called the infield in, not allowing another run. Just can't afford to.
Good take.
Just a 3-run lead, but Ryan Mooney with a nice take. Ryan with a hit earlier. Sorry, partner.
No, you good, man. It's one of those examples of a key moment here. You don't have to hit a double, but you cannot strike out.
Draws the walk. That was an option.
Yep.
Dresselhaus coming up with runners at the corners. 1 out.
Now
St. Mary's
number 4,
5th inning.
And that goes back to what I said earlier with the approach. Like, there's a pressure there. Like, hey, I need to get this run home. Hey, I need to do my job. But it's a more of a professional approach to say, hey, he doesn't want to throw me enough strikes. That's fine. I'll go down to first base because I know we got guys behind me to do it.
That's right. Matt Petrie there. You get a good look at him. Pitches upstairs. So next up for St. Mary's is Friday at the corner. We will not have coverage of that. We wanted to cover it, but just not enough crews to do a third crew in one day. So we're covering a couple other sports. Swing and a miss. Some hot heat coming from the right hand of Alex Tribal, 6'2", 210. He went to Holy Family in grade school. Next up for Brother Rice, he will take on UAD. Down to second goes Mooney with that 6'2", 60 speed, and not even a thought coming from the catcher, Owen Turner, to throw down.
Picked a good one to run on, went on the breaking ball. Get yourself in scoring position.
Down the line, fair ball. That's going to score 2. Rustevich in, right behind him, Ryan Mooney. And it's now 10-5 St. Mary's as Dresselhaus takes second. 2-run double for Dresselhaus and the Eaglets. 10-5 leaders.
That's what you see from Dresselhaus. He got off a big swing early in the at-bat, swung and missed, and then here you can kind of see less of a stride, a shorter stroke. All we're trying to do there is get barrel on something, and you can still hit the ball hard. That's what he did. That's an extra base hit. It's down the line. It's barrel. It's hit hard. You don't have to take away from having impact with 2 strikes. You just have to be able to control yourself better, and that's a good job of doing that.
Yeah, well said. I heard a scout talking before the game about Dresselhaus, a pro scout, and he said he's short to it and long through it.
Yep.
And I don't know what that means, but you do.
So the barrel is short to the hitting zone, and then it lags in that hitting zone for a long time. So it's long through the finish. You want to get it there early and then leave it there. So you're getting more margin for error. I know, folks, this is an audio medium, but I'm gesturing with my hand. You want your barrel in the zone as long as you can because that gives you more margin for error as far as hitting the ball actually squarely. So, guys,
makes sense.
You see guys who enter the zone at a steep angle or something like that. Those guys are quick in and out of the zone. A guy like Dresselhaus gets on plane, and then there it is for a while. That's what that means.
And that's a sexy feature in baseball to have that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want that.
That's what you want. One of the first things you look for when you're evaluating hitters. How does he get to the zone, and how long is he in there?
Nolan Schubert, who's maybe more of a longer swing type guy.
Yeah, and some of that comes with the fact that he's 6'5" and long. You know, the length of his limbs is harder to but you can see when Nolan's having some struggles, it's because he's steep down into the zone. He's kind of like bringing the barrel in a steep downward direction. And now that he's going better, you can see the barrel kind of circles behind a little bit more. It's on plane earlier. He's not top spinning everything like he would have when he's steep with it.
Right on. So Brother Rice will take on U of D. U of D is in last place in the Central Division. That said, they beat Brother Rice last week. They split with them.
The thing about the Catholic League, man, it's like any given Sunday.
Yeah.
It really is. You have to come ready to go every single time. All the teams have good players. All the teams are well coached. Even when a team's having a down year like U of D, they're still dangerous.
That's an 11 a.m. start on Saturday at the Warrior Complex, a beautiful facility that the LeMahieu's have made possible. There goes the runner again to third, and it doesn't matter. It's a strikeout. Schubert's down on strikes. Tribal comes on and strikes out Grimmer and strikes out Schubert. That's something to put on a reel. We go to the top half of the 6th inning. Orchard Lake St. Mary's with a 10-5 lead.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Thanks so much for watching. We are The Prep. His name is Brian Sikowski. My name's Chad Bush. Alex Westfall is your executive producer. We'd love for you to join our team. You could be a sponsor. You could sponsor this broadcast and do what 2SP does and do what G-Brand USA does. And also our proud sponsors all around, Pure Bar, and so on and so forth. Join our team today. info@theprepsports.com to see how you can become a sponsor. Also, let's see how you can get your game broadcasted on The Prep. You got an event, you got a game, hit us up. And if you would also follow us on social media, we would greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to us. If you're watching on our YouTube channel via stmarysprep.com. Thank you so much. We're back at it on the air on Friday for high school athletics. Anyway, we will have soccer coverage tomorrow, and Flint United basketball on Friday, along with lacrosse, CHSL Championship Lacrosse from Catholic Central High School on Friday, 5 o'clock and 7:30. Lax Losi on the call, and we look forward to that. It's a pop-up, and this one's going to get up and out of play, and a young fan from Kego Harbor will take that one back to his parents. Brandon Skorupski on for his second inning of duty. Brother Rice with 3 runs in the 4th. Skorupski came on in the 5th and has given up just 1 and shut the door, calmed it down a bit.
Great pitch. Threw a bunch of breaking balls at that at-bat, including the first strike he got called, that curveball. Missed down with the slider. You saw that. Good takes there, but then obviously to be able to come back and paint 83 or whatever that was, that's an unhittable pitch regardless of velocity where that was located. A great pitch.
Right on the outside black. So Taransky's out on strikes. Here comes Vandermeed. This is a guy that we saw on the basketball court doing great things. Chase Vandermeed, 6'4", 180, sophomore. Good-looking third baseman. And that one is taken low. What's going on here? They're worried about bugs? Oh, you don't like bugs, Alex? I didn't know that. Now I got something again. Now I know what to do. Okay. It's arachnophobia, I believe. Is that what that's called?
These Oakland County people.
I know, right? Downriver, nobody cares about a bug. They'll eat them. They'll dip them in chocolate and chow them.
Damn right.
I mean, you know.
I don't want to give Downriver a bad name. No, I would not do that.
I'm kidding. I kid because I love Downriver. Did I mention my brother lives, where does Nate live? Wyandotte. Yes.
Awesome.
My community in Wyandotte.
Now batting number
Love going to
4,
Wyandotte.
Proud Polish heritage there in Wyandotte.
Yeah?
Proud Polish heritage there.
Proud Polish heritage on this campus. Proud Polish heritage in the Sikowski family. I'd
Polish
assume.
Catholics, man.
Right on.
We're all over the place.
Yep. Too low, says Bob Conway. 1-0 the count. 2 are out. 10-5 St. Mary's on top. 10 runs, 10 hits. 5 runs, 5 hits for Brother Rice. Ground ball to second. McKay up with it, throws to first, and that's the inning. So the Bulldog comes in, bounces back, bows out of the 5th. We're back to Dan Petrie in a moment.
With your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
We want to thank our friends at 2SP for stopping by. Nate and Joe. Contact us at 2spsports.com. It says Premier Power Training. Receive 10% off when you mention the prep. Get them on the gram at 2SP Sports. Get them on their website, 2spsports.com. You get the point. Go to them and get some training. Brother Rice, St. Mary's baseball, they get trained there. Brother Rice lacrosse, they get trained there. The Premier athletes, they're getting trained there. You go get it too. Find them in Waterford, Shelby, Madison Heights, Farmington Hills. 10% off when you mention the prep. We've got a new starting pitcher on the mound for Brother Rice. It's Kevin Matthews, a 6-foot, 190-pounder out of Powell Middle School. He's a senior, and he will face the heart of the left-handed lineup for the lefty himself, Matt Petrie.
Seen Ike take a couple good swings today, both for power and for kind of adjustability hitting. Another left-handed arm with a little bit of a different approach there, a different angle. Scouts always want to see left-handed bats against left-handed arms and need to see them succeed.
How is it that some left-handed bats just hit better against left-handed pitching? Is it just eye?
Yeah, it's all about comfort. There's really no like one definable thing that makes a guy able to hit arm side pitching or not. It's really just a comfort thing. You see a ton of guys in the big leagues who are severe reverse platoon splits and things like that. And but it's also the reason why some guys don't become true major league regulars. And Tigers fans will know Akil Baddoo. He really struggles against left-handed pitching. For him to play every day consistently and be, a realistic piece of the team every day, he's going to have to hit some lefties. It's an important part of a hitter evaluation is what they do against arm side pitching.
This time it's a walk. The guy on in relief is Kevin Matthews, senior left-hander.
Now batting.
St. Mary's and the prep will tango again on Tuesday. Notre Dame prep. That'll be a senior night. That's a Tuesday, 5 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 4:50. Notre Dame prep, former members of the Catholic League before leaving. And Country Day, another independent, back-to-back independents. It'll be the second time St. Mary's and Country Day have gone at it this year. We covered the game back on the 25th of April. A win for St. Mary's.
I'm old enough to remember Notre Dame prep in the Catholic League.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't that long ago, but
no, it was about 8 years ago-ish.
Yeah.
Those two teams, St. Mary's and Notre Dame prep, played, of course, last year.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. In the postseason. Yep.
In the regionals at Novi High School or quarterfinals. There's so many games in a row. It's hard. Regional 5. It was on the way to the journey to the Eaglets back-to-back state titles. Trying for the three-peat this year. No one said it'd be easy. Jason Oliver in the on-deck circle.
If it was easy, it wouldn't be fun.
I like that line. Read it. Ball gets away from the catcher. Owen Turner. And down to second goes Chubbs Ruckhaber, who is checked into the lineup.
Really speedy guy. Carved out a role here for Coach Petrie. as a courtesy runner, as a pinch runner, as a late innings runner. Guy who can steal a base, guy who can take an extra base. He's a really, really good runner, good athlete.
Played on George Port's football team. It's a wide receiver in the slot. Here's the 1-1 to Minnie McKay. It's in the dirt. Fine stop. Again by the catcher Turner, the sophomore. So St. Mary's a game Friday, 2 games Saturday. As they will head to Warren de La Salle. We will not have coverage of that. Ground ball weakly to short. This is going to be a tough play, and the shortstop's going to go to third and throw it away. Chubbs will hang tight, so will McKay. How do you like that decision?
I mean, you're not going to get McKay there, so I think like that's probably the right call is to try and get it out. Obviously, have to execute it better. Want to maybe think about letting him get around the bag, and then a pump fake we try and go over there. But either way, you're not going to get McKay on this. So I agree with the idea that this is better to go that way with.
I like that. Fake it and then go back and get him off the bag.
Pump fake it, see if he gets a turn.
He must have been a catcher.
Maybe. A long lifetime ago.
Runners at the corners, nobody out. St. Mary's trying to add on to their 5-run lead here in the 6th. And this is the guy to do it. Tied for the team lead in RBIs now. After the 3-run bases clearing double earlier in this game, specifically back in the 2nd by Blake Grimmer. These 2 kids now have 30 RBIs each. Competition on this team. There's some competitive. It seems like a quieter team. You've been around a lot of teams. How would you classify maybe last year's crew and this year's team and just the mode and mood of being around these kids that stands out?
I would say last year's team had a little bit more up and down. It was the first year back from COVID. A lot of these guys were underclassmen. There was just a little bit more of the hot and cold a little bit. And as good as the team was, obviously 43-1, there was some hot and cold to it. This year feels like just like a ruthless assassin type of competitiveness.
Number 9,
like,
Parker Brustevich.
I'm not even going to change my facial expression while we win every game. Like that type of mentality, you know. So just a little bit more professional. Not that either one is bad. Not that either one is bad. These are still
just
teenagers.
the way they are.
They're teenagers.
Right.
So this is a different machine, I think.
Well oiled at that. Pitches inside. St. Mary's is now in Division I. Brother Rice has always been in Division I. They now will meet potentially in the playoffs. Last year, of course, they didn't have to meet up. Brother Rice went all the way to the semis?
Semis, I believe, yep.
Yeah. Good run by Bob Riker and his club.
Portage Central got him.
That's right.
Yep.
In the semis before Portage Central
lost to Grand Blanc. Lost to Grand Blanc.
Grand Blanc, man. What a year last year.
What an athletics year.
Yeah.
Like really good. You know, I don't follow the other sports nearly as much, but from what I saw, they were very good at football and basketball, too.
Went to the finals. That hit Brustevich on the hop. Into score comes Ruckhaber. It's 11-5 St. Mary's as this thing's starting to get out of the weeds for Rice.
That's just the old spiked fastball.
Yeah.
Tough to do anything with that if you're a catcher.
Rice is on their 6th pitcher.
All you can do is curse at your pitcher while you're sprinting back to the screen to pick it up.
Been there.
Yeah.
Been back to that screen many a times.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
Meanwhile, he's telling you to be more athletic and block it or something.
Sure.
Like, no, dude, don't throw a pitch 38 feet.
Happens again here, and bases are loaded. And Boysenau is going to get a chance to take advantage of his limited minutes. Bob Riker's seen enough. He's going to go to the bullpen, and we'll take a timeout. So, pitching change in process. We'll take a timeout on the prep. St. Mary's by 6. We're back after these. Dan Petrie Field. He's Brian Sikowski. My name is Chad Bush. Brother Rice has gone back to the pen. I want to tell you about Blue Lion Fitness, located at 401 South Maple in Ann Arbor. Our good buddy Dan Roth and the fine folks can train you. They're the official trainer of the Orchard Lake St. Mary's Basketball Club. 734-929-5268. Get them on the gram at Blue Lion Fitness. They do a great job on social media as well. BlueLionFitness.com. Thank you very much for their support. Also want to get ready. We got to pick the G's of the game.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't talked about G Brand USA, but G Brand USA, one of our fine sponsors that is the hat you have on, is coming from G Brand. Brian Metallic, the CEO and owner, getting us all hooked up and looking fresh and fun. So we will pick our G Brand G's of the game. There's a nice play by Vandermeed. He'll fire across the diamond and get the runner. That's a great play by Chase Vandermeed, playing in, knocking it down, and calmly making the play. Meanwhile, McKay comes in to score. It's 12-5, St. Mary's.
See a lot of guys panic in that situation. They don't come up with it cleanly, and they panic. That's just kind of a calm, cool, collected. I got plenty of time to throw it across. I trust my arm. Good play. You get a pinch hitter here as Coach Petrie goes to the bench.
Vince Cowdrey will check in. Vince has played catcher for St. Mary's, has been that second backstop at times for the Eaglets. He gets a shot here against the new pitcher in for Brother Rice, and it is Will Venner. Will Venner, says Pat the Stat. Thank you, Father. He's not on the roster. That's a good find. Thank you. Second and third, this is upstairs to Vincent Cowdrey. His father, Michael Cowdrey, is a Central Michigan Chippewa and also the athletic director at Bloomfield Hills High School. Will Venner in the game for Brother Rice. What is that, their seventh pitcher today?
Definitely a pen game for Coach Riker in the second game here.
Cowdrey drives one deep to right. This one way back, and this is caught on the track. Fine catch made in right center field by Dowd. Or is that Vandermeed? I think it was Cash Vandermeed who made that play coming all the way over from right field. Let's take another look. This is a freshman. Fine play by Cowdrey to drive in the run, too, but
it's a great swing.
Cash Vandermeed chases this thing down in the gap. It's not easy. Charlie D'Angelo, I apologize. Boy, we got to get these numbers right. Man. So the run is in. It's an RBI for Cowdrey. It's now 13-5 St. Mary's.
That's a great swing from Cowdrey. He's a strong physical kid. He's a sophomore, probably in line to be the starting catcher next year.
Yeah.
So important for him to get at bats, to get. I know he catches a lot of the non-league games for Coach Petrie. That's what he wants to do. But you're seeing there his best tool is that guy's going to be a guy who hits for power from the right side of the plate.
Yeah. Little gappage there. This is Jake Dresselhaus.
Might be a candidate for G of the game, depending on what he does here. Right now, I'm leaning towards Brstevich in this one.
I think that's fair.
A couple of doubles in line for the win.
We got to pick a game one, G of the game as well. I'm going to lean on you for all that stuff.
That we might have to just roll with Porter there, the complete game shutout one-hitter against your rival.
Yes, he's becoming a trend for that pick.
Well, he doesn't need it anymore. He doesn't need any more accolades. We can give it to somebody else.
You're not wrong by saying that, but I'm going to ask for another guy.
Give it to McKay. He hit the bomb.
I think that's right. He
playing good defense.
He won it last time as well, and he's going to win it again. You're right. That's the right one. That's the right play. I think you're spot on. We'll take that one.
Yeah, Brock don't need any more help. He's good. He doesn't need us.
It's not that he doesn't. He's deserving of it. Yeah. He's deserving of it. There's no doubt. Dresselhaus in a 2-1 count, and he's going to draw a walk. So first and second now, 2 outs. St. Mary's, who won 12-2 against Rice in mercy fashion, and 10-0 against Rice the first time around back in Troy, Michigan. Here comes Blake Grimmer. He's a contender for the G of the game.
Certainly. Couple of doubles, 3 RBIs.
He and Dresselhaus almost identical stats. Look at that line. My goodness. This could separate. This could name and define our G of the game. This at bat. We thank G Brand USA, located in Sterling Heights. Go find Brian Metallic and the great folks at G Brand. Brian joined us last time out on Saturday. St. Mary's and Liggett went at it. Pitch in the dirt. Fine stop again, but the runners will advance.
2 runs away from triggering the mercy rule.
Yes, good catch. A base hit away, perhaps.
Especially with Dresselhaus on second. Would have to imagine so.
Yeah. 7 pitchers for Brother Rice have appeared in this game. 2 for St. Mary's. Rustevich and Skorupski. This is Blake Grimmer trying to end this game, and he could do it with just a base hit.
Let's go, 1-2. Stay in your zone, Blake. Stay in your zone, baby. Let's go, Blake. Stay in your zone.
Brother Rice has UAD on Saturday and Divine Child next week at home. Swinging a drive that's hit halfway to Orchard Lake.
Ball wasn't hit softly.
Man.
Just out in front of it a little bit. That's the thing. Like, all these guys hit the ball so hard.
Where does this kid project?
I mean, it's going to be a good summer to figure that out. Okay. That's what we're going to do this summer. But
from what we've seen,
yeah.
I mean, this kid's, is he not, I mean, I know Purify is up there.
Yeah. I think it's him, Purify, and Evan Hager from Catholic Central. It's the big 3 right now in the state.
Okay.
Jason Oliver's really good, obviously. I think there's so many in that class. Swinging a miss here on a good off-speed pitch. That's just a straight vertical curveball. Got to the back foot of the lefty. Good pitch.
Fine job by Venner to get out of it. St. Mary's gets 3. We go to the 7th right next.
Pure Barre is a full-body workout that transforms you, physically and mentally. Our musically driven group classes focus on low-impact, small movements that strengthen and tone your entire body in 50 minutes or less. Anyone is capable of taking Pure Barre, no matter your age or fitness level, and no dance experience is required.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Couple of substitutions. Kyle Crockett is now in behind home plate, the senior backstop for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Going to have some pinch hitters as well.
Top of the 7th inning for the
Nick
Warriors.
Sandiha will come in and pinch hit, the junior out of St. Fabian. As we wrap things up here, this is the top of the 7th, Brother Rice's last stand. Skorupski back out on the hill for his 3rd inning of duty.
And you know, Matt would love to see him just close it out here. Don't want to have to get another arm loose, especially with a game Friday against a good team, 2 more league games Saturday, flipping it over to next week. Would just love to see Skorupski close it out here. Good start there.
Great start. Skorupski's 3rd strikeout in 2 1/3 innings. He's had just 1 walk, 1 hit, and 1 run.
Fleury.
Gave up that solo bomb. There have been home runs hit today. How about just 1 home run by St. Mary's?
Yeah.
We had the weather perfect, everything right. I mean, you tip the cap to Brother Rice, first of all.
Yep. 8 doubles will help you forget about that in this game or whatever it was. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. That's a lot. And that's a lot of doubles.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
It's important. It's part of the goals that we'd set for ourselves here at St. Mary's, and now like not being there, whatever, notwithstanding.
Sure.
But like wanted to lead the state in doubles, wanted to lead the state in home runs, wanted to lead the state in walks. Those were the three.
Wow.
And I did not care if we led the state in strikeouts as long as we led the state in the other three.
Is the strikeout overrated?
Yeah, I mean, if you can do the other things, then yeah, I really don't care. I mean, obviously, putting the ball in play gives you a better opportunity for something bad to happen in your favor. I understand all that. The math is there, etc. But for me, I think when I came in here, we had too many guys who were a little worried too much about striking out in lieu of getting their best swings off.
Yep.
And so take away the fear of striking out.
Right.
Who cares as long as you walk and drive the ball in your other at-bats? That's kind of what my perspective was.
Yeah. So Brother Rice with 2 home runs in this game 2. St. Mary's without a dong. But the Eaglets will take the sweep in the season sweep. But these two teams probably not done. They're expected to play again in the Catholic League tournament, if not in the semis, in the finals, and most likely on a path to meet in the regionals. Out on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts, and this game is over. Brandon Skorupski ends it. Orchard Lake St. Mary's wins it. And the Eaglets have now won 49 straight games and continue their impressive spell over their rival, the Warriors of Brother Rice. Brian and I will come back to wrap it up from Orchard Lake St. Mary's right after this. 13-5, St. Mary's gets the win in Game 2, and they get the sweep in the season regular series. Back after these.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
so that interscholastic athletes may thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given for that.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
The ball game is over. St. Mary's wins 13-5 over Brother Rice. Eaglets improved to 27-0. Brother Rice falls to 17-8. Now it's time to take a look at our G of the game. We're going to rely on Brian Sikowski to give us our G of the game from Game 1. Let's start there. Our Game 1 G of the game. Brian, what do you have, sir?
We're going to go with Ryan Mini McKay, as he's known. Hit the solo home run a little bit later in the game, which I believe pushed the lead from 1-0 to 2-0. Played consistently, really good defense at second base. Obviously, Brock Porter was a candidate for that, but given that he's Brock Porter, we'll give the love to the bat, especially because I'm here. I'm a hitting guy. Like, I don't need any pitchers getting awards while I'm standing here. So we're going to go with Mini McKay in that first game.
Fair enough. Ryan Mini McKay will be given a hat here in the post game. In fact, Sack's going to give him the hat. We're going to let him reward the hat for our G brand USA G of the game. Game 2, sir. who did you see as our winner for G of the game?
We had a couple candidates here. I think the argument could have been made for Parker Brustevich. I think the argument could have been made for Blake Grimmer. But we are going to go with Jake Dresselhaus, 2 for 3 with a double, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, hit the ball hard all day, including his outs, impacted the game in center field, running balls down in the gaps. That is our G2 G of the game.
I like it, G2, and that's our G's of the game. We thank our sponsor, G-Brand USA, located in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Go check them out. Find them on social media. We will post our G of the game on Instagram, on Twitter, and all of our socials as well. So, time to get to some highlights from this 18-run affair between these two rivals. We start first with Brother Rice, Brian.
Yeah, it was Brother Rice. You could see him. They jumped on him early. Braden Dowd had a fantastic game. There's his first hit of the game, an RBI single through the right side. Brustevich was in the zone, just a little, maybe 2 in the zone, and Rice took advantage of it. We saw him hit balls hard all game. We saw him hit some home runs. But at the same time, once Brustevich got that breaking stuff going, easier to handle there. And St. Mary's offense could not be denied today, as we see Grimmer there with that bases clearing double down the line. There were 7 doubles hit from St. Mary's today, a lot of hard contact, not many strikeouts, a lot of walks, a good piece of hitting up and down the lineup for the Eaglets.
We see it here with the sacrifice fly to right. And look, Rice threw out 7 pitchers as well. There was some good in there that they can take forward. Patrick McLean, one of those guys. St. Mary's, 2 hurlers. Brustevich gives up a bomb here.
Yeah, and like we said with Parker, he throws a lot of strikes. Sometimes they're too good at strikes. Sometimes it's 84 center cut down the middle on a tee. So as he grows, as he gets more mature, that command will join the control like we talked about earlier. But credit to Brother Rice. It's a young team, but they have left-handed sticks. They have power. We saw him hit balls hard all game. We saw him hit the home runs. And like you said, Chad, too, they ran out 7 arms, saw some good things, saw some good breaking balls for swinging misses. And this is our G of the game here, Dresselhaus with a liner down the line there for an RBI.
Was a big part of stretching that lead out to 4 runs. Rice got a little bit, as most teams do, when they get deeper to their pen. They give up a run here on a wild pitch. All in all, St. Mary's gets the sweep, and they continue their domination as we move on to the end parts of the regular season. I mean, we are down the stretch, as they say, in the final latter stages. And so changes are coming. I mean, this is where teams start to really make their move.
We're going to say goodbye to Catholic League play shortly. They have one more regular season Catholic League series this weekend. Then they'll jump right into the playoffs, so the 1-1 counts are limited. Going to go to more real baseball down the stretch. And like Matt does every year, he does not shy away in his non-league scheduling. I know we talked about St. Mary's moving up to Division I this year. That really doesn't matter because Matt played a D1 schedule as it was.
Right.
You can't control who you play in your league, but you can control who you play out of it. And Matt exclusively has played powerhouses. We've seen we're going to see Country Day twice. He's scheduled Edison. Howell's a really good team. Oxford's a really good team. Scheduled Saline, a good team that got rained out. Not afraid to compete, not afraid to lose if that's the scenario.
Right.
Matt wants to get his guys battle tested for the stretch run, and they are. They look great.
They sure do. So I want to thank our great staff for making this broadcast possible. That'll do it for our double dip coverage. St. Mary's gets the sweep over Brother Rice. Rice moves on. They'll play again on Saturday against UAD. St. Mary's plays Friday down at the corner. We will not have coverage of their games Friday or Saturday. We're back at it on them with Tuesday. However, we are back with Brother Rice Lacrosse and Catholic Central Lacrosse on Friday from Catholic Central. I want to thank our talented and hardworking crew for making this broadcast possible. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. Adam Fuller on instant replay. Fish on audio. Delaney Higgins on graphics. Brandon Cardenas on a camera. Kyle Buchanan on a camera, albeit on the ground, not on that rooftop. I like that look. Let's keep that going. Pat the Stat on stats. Kyle from our social media club doing great things. Who did I miss? Anybody? Brian Sikowski. Oh, yes, on color commentary. Sack, thanks so much, man. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Perfect Games chief cross-checker, national cross-checker.
That's what they say.
Assistant baseball coach at St. Mary's, formerly 2 state titles, and now color commentary on the prep.
I love it, man. Wouldn't have rather been anywhere else today, so thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. You did great. We look forward to it. Thanks to everybody who watched today on the prep. You can get us on demand and live. My name is Chad Bush. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, your final scores today: St. Mary's 4, Brother Rice nothing in Game 1. And in Game 2, St. Mary's 13, Brother Rice 5. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you Friday from Catholic Central. So long, everybody.